this afternoon, which is a good thing. We have had a few wet days this season, probably more so than South Croydon took on Norwood. It was a radio game last year out at Mullen Reserve. And again, it was a huge challenge for them, and I reckon they would have been pretty disappointed with how they performed that day. They never really looked like winning. I think in the end, the margin was sort of around 40-50 points in wet conditions, and they played an absolute mile off their best football. I reckon they'll be hoping to do much better this afternoon. Yeah, they're a little bit more ready, I suppose, and a little bit more used to the bigger clashes now. I mean, over the last 12 months, it's almost become part and parcel for South Croydon now that they're going to be playing in their big games against the big clubs, and they're going to be close, hard-fought, almost final-style games of football. The more they play, the better they will be for the run. And apart from that game earlier on this season where they got absolutely pants by Baldwin, they've really been fantastic against all the big boys so far. So I don't see that changing today. I mean, we're going to see, hopefully from our point of view, Brad, from a commentator, sort of a selfish point of view, we're going to see a really close game of footy. Not necessarily a high-scoring one, but one that's going to keep us on the end of our seats for the majority of the game. And Seymour, we could see Jason Eagle raise the bat today for 50 goals for the season, which would be a great effort. He only needs three goals this afternoon, so that's definitely on the cards. Yeah, look, you'd think he'd get there as well. I think 3 is his lowest haul for the year, just off the top of my head. He's a fantastic. He loves a diving mark. He really does. The boys really do get around him, and he complements Danny Hughes really well, and Danny Hughes complements him really well. So their forward line, the South Croydon forward line, is almost, when it's up and running, the most potent one in the Division 1. It's just like I said during the pre-game show. If someone like Robbie Mallison can consistently get to their feet and turn ground balls into scoring opportunities, then there's no reason why South Croydon can't kick a real big score. And Andy, you got any last thoughts on the game this afternoon? Where's it going to be won, do you think?
I'm really interested in how Norwood tackle the absence of Lee Williams and how they're going to set up their forward line. I actually think an idea might be to push Matthew Bate for a section of the game, not for the complete match, but for parts of the game. Push him up to the forward line and really use his experience, because he's a big body. He can take a good mark. We all know he can kick a goal as well. So I reckon that could be a great option that they can utilise going forward in this match. Yeah, it gets you boys to definitely keep an eye on how they do use Bate throughout the afternoons, changes they make with him, because they do like to throw him around. He's pretty much played everywhere at different stages this year, and obviously such an important player to the Norwood setup. So just about ready for a start in the Beyond Blue Cup, South Croydon and Norwood here at Cheong Park on 98.1 Radio Eastern, and it will be big Troy Armstrong to go up first in the ruck for Norwood against the man they call Sticks, Graydon Stevens. It's going to be an interesting matchup, that one. He's a bit of a bully, Armstrong. He's a real tough, throws his body in. Well, Grattan loves to get loose and really get his hands on the pill. So looking forward to see how they actually combat each other and who actually does take the points in terms of who's more attacking today. Yeah, we'll get some help, Armstrong, from Connor O'Sullivan, who in the number 31 jumper, young ruckman who's definitely given a good chop out to Troy Armstrong on many occasions this year. So we get underway. First quarter, Armstrong against Stevens in the middle. Norwood get first possession through Armstrong, a little handball to Jordan. Kick came forward from Holmes up towards the wing. It was taken away then by Eddie, close to the boundary line and over the line there in front of McCubbin, who hands it back to the boundary umpire. True wing position here at Cheong
Just
Park.
quickly, boys, Matty Bates at full, standing in the back pocket. He's went straight down there, so he must be going to give them a bit of run at half-back.
Yeah, they'll probably try and get him loose at stages too and just create a bit from defence. As Dan King returns the ball. It's funny, Seymour, when you watch a guy like Matty Bate. As a Melbourne supporter, I watched him play 100 games, and he was never used as a loose man in defence, but at this level, certainly that's a role that Norwood would like to use him in.
Yeah, that's it. He'll be an architect across there if he stays there for 4 quarters. His foot skills will set up a lot of attacks forward for Norwood today. Stevie Donnell sort of giving him the run around here just in front of us, Brad, who's almost running laps of the forward 50, trying to get off the chain, maybe tire Matty Bate out. And Stevie Donnell's no mug either, so he'll keep him honest for most of the day.
Absolutely not, as Jordan in there is all wrapped up by Stevens. So no score thus far. Minute 15 gone in the first quarter. The ball's still on this true wing position, broadcast side of Cheong Park, as Stevens wins it down to King of the David variety. Paddled out to Donnell into the path of Strawn. The ball just eluded him initially, but he kept chasing after it. Then Glenn Strawn got involved again. Handball was shot out into the path of Poynton. Del Judas for the Bulldogs. Clever handball. Chain of handballs now. Finishes up with Donnell, who just can't quite gather clean possession, and Norwood pretty desperate there on the deck. They managed to force the ball up. It's on the opposite wing now at Cheong Park. Wing position, no score, 2 minutes gone first quarter.
Just as you mentioned, Seymour, what Donnell's doing is he's really pulling Matty Bate away from having that, that diagonal kick behind the ball. He's really trying to get him away from that position.
Certainly is, as Rhett Jordan pumps the Norwood Football Club inside forward 50 for the first time today. O'Sullivan, the first one out to meet it on Lucas Markovic, sees the ball over the boundary line. There's the first sort of real clear, clean possession we've seen in 2 minutes of footy. Rhett Jordan, fantastic work there off the back of the stoppage. Relatively open forward 50 for Norwood here. As the ball comes flying back into play, Norwood definitely looking to get the first one on the board. It's going to fall at the feet of the Dogs. The kick comes out there to Strawn. Takes a good mark across half back. Just holds the play up a little bit. Looking to settle. He's got Hughes long. He goes in the Hughes direction. The kick falls just short. Oh, Matty Bate tried to cut that across. Did a fantastic job. Hughes to King. Long to Stevie Donnell. Oh, tries to take a little bit of a fly, a little bit overzealous there. Nothing to do with the umpire. Recovers the quickest. Handball out in the Francis Kavanagh direction. Can't quite pick it up. Flicks around the corner to Danny Hughes. A little bit of a tussle. Great defensive work there by Jesse Newman. He dives on the footy. The Hulk dives on him. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. A little bit of a funny old passage of play there from South Croydon. They certainly didn't have it all their own way. Hughes, fantastic work, third man up. Stevie Donnell, the outside of the right boot. There's your first score of the afternoon. Just gone to the left side of the big stick there. That was look for him to do that for most of the day, fellas. Jason Eagle, they really do use him as a ruckman in the forward 50. Andy Paolacci.
Yeah, Donnell's definitely giving the run around, as we've mentioned, and look, Bates really got to tighten up if they're really going to cut the goals that South Croydon are going to kick today.
Oh, Bate got it back from Armstrong and then found Jordan. Jordan's neat kick to O'Sullivan on the wing position. Connor O'Sullivan, left footer. Not a bad kick in the end. He's found a teammate up for him, McCormack, on a long lead. McCormack's kick to the pocket, English. Did he interfere with his opponent? The umpire says yes. A push in the back paid.
Boundary. In
the back pocket there to Del Judas, who had a runner cruising past. Lovely kick, finds Stevens, who's been very influential early, really involved in the play a lot, Stevens, as he dishes it off to Strawn. Strawn's kick, not his best effort, chopped off by McCubbin. McCubbin goes laterally here to Ava. So Matty Ava, short pass, finding a bit of space now, the Norseman. Through the middle, thumping kick by Poynton to full forward. No mark taken, the Bulldogs have the defenders back there. They team together really well. And they should be able to clear now through King. Kick was smothered, good smother. So the great pressure from the Norseman. They win it back through Kirkby-Rodier. Kirkby-Rodier has kicked to full forward. There's a free kick paid, and it will go to the Bulldogs. Some holding on in that marking contest. Crowd got involved. Gee, they made a mess of that, trying to clear out a defence. As a soccer kick off the ground, and it's gone through for a goal. So Jessup kicks the first of the game. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. 6-point lead to the Norsemen on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, speaking of first goal, Danny Russo had at Fair Park has kicked the first goal in game 300 for the Eastern Lions. So a fantastic start for them. Another game, one goal apiece out at Baldwin Park between Blackburn and Baldwin. Some ripper games going on around the Eastern Football League thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Some sharp work by you, Dyson Baker. I never thought I'd see the day where the media manager of the Eastern Football League had put himself down amongst the fans in the cold weather.
Chip in.
You're going to do a fantastic job. We'll be crossing down to you a hell of a lot today. There's no doubt about that. Not sure what happened there. I saw Jimmy Crowd got the free kick just before that goal, and somehow South Croydon stuffed it up. They're going to try and atone here. Eddie, straight to Armstrong. He can't quite take the mark. He's going to get the free kick though. Young Liam Cox came in and almost took his head off. So Armstrong, handballs to Matty Bate, slips over, got himself in a little bit of a pickle there. A little bit of quarterbacking action there from the Norwood Football Club. Eventually the kick finds Zach McCubbin just behind centre wing here. He goes to his skipper in Holmes. Not a lot of movement up forward. There's a lot of blue jumpers. Smart use of the footy there. Oh, the mark was dropped by O'Sullivan. Picked up by King. Now South Croydon can launch some sort of counter-attack, but not with that kick. Another turnover, straight to Matty Deckler. He's going to go wide now. The Norwood Football Club will look to open this one up on the other side of the ground. Lockie Dixon, streaming through the middle of Cheong Park, goes in the English direction, goes underneath him. And Zach McCubbin's going to be the first one there, but it was cut off fantastically by I think it was Glenn Strawn down there doing some defensive work for South Croydon.
Guys, have a look at Norwood. When they intercept at the centre half back line, they spread straight away, and they're looking for that switch to open up the game up and get some clear run into their forward line.
Short pass by Maynard was dangerous. Got it to Cox. They share it around now to Strawn. Swings onto that trusty left foot. English is there to take the mark though for Norwood. He too a left footer, very dangerous one. Brent English as well. Not his best kick though. That's disappointing. And that kick was well and truly scouted by Cox, who comes out of defence for the Bulldogs. Liam Cox's kick was a good one. Got it to Callie. Off and running now. Short pass. It was Kavanagh, in fact, I should say there. Armstrong fed it out to Bate. Bate's all wrapped up, but the ball's going to have to come back. And the free kick has been paid there to South Croydon by umpire Jason Herman. So the Bulldogs go forward. And it's a good kick on the long lead then. This is Dan King. Still too far out to score. Reigning Chandler medalist. It was a beautiful kick from Dan King. And he hits Jason Eagle on the chest, who will line up for goal number 48 of season 2014.
This is the space we talked about, Seymour. You give these big boys space. He's got enough speed, big Jason Eagle, to lead into it. They've got to fill that up.
Yeah, there's a damn good kick as well. I mean, the defender's got no hope in that situation.
Eagle, thumping left foot kick. Never looked like missing. Great result there for the Bulldogs. They get there first. 1-1-7. Norwood also on 1-1-7 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And Jason Eagle now just 2 goals shy of a half-century of goals for the season.
It's good use of the footy there by South Croydon. They didn't panic. They didn't go long. The kick came out to Dan King, and that was the delivery to Jason Eagle.
Beautiful. That's what that sort of footy is how Dan King was able to win a Chandler medal last year. It was a surprising result, I guess, to many. He certainly wasn't. He was a long way from being the favourite for that medal, but certainly a deserving winner for anyone who saw a lot of South Croydon games last year. Quick kick out of the middle for the Norseman. Pretty effective. Finds McBride. Short pass is on, and disappointing kick that time. So the Bulldogs have it at half-back. High up and under kick to the wing. Bounces just inside the field of play. And then it seemed to hit Hughes on the ankle.
I think he's got away with one there.
I reckon he did as well. With thanks to Choose Tap, Soupy Campbell.
Inside 50 count, 6-2 in favour of Norwood. Clearance is 4-3 in favour of South Croydon.
1-1-7 apiece. Coming up to the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. Strong tackle by McBride on Strawn. Wasn't appreciated by Glenn Strawn. And with the Beyond Blue themed jumpers, Seymour, there's quite a few number changes, so we've just got to keep aware of those. Try to pick them up as we go. That's Declare there for Norwood, handing the ball back to the umpire. Very aggressive attack at the footy then by Troy Armstrong. Put the knee straight into the throat of his opposite number.
Young Jake Tucker, only his second senior game.
Well, he won't forget that moment in a hurry. Tucker takes the free kick. Little handball was shot out to Eagle. Eagle had to backpedal away from the goals, tried to get it to David King. High tackle on Gould, no free kick. Gould somehow shovels the ball out. Slick handball from Chris Donnell, and the Bulldogs managed to get it up towards half forward. Hughes went to ground, showed good composure though, good presence of mind, had the wherewithal to hand it off then to his teammate in DeJager, and DeJager there not really making a genuine attempt according to the umpire to get rid of the ball, just sat on it and hoped for the best. So the free kick goes to the Norseman, and it will be taken from half back there by points and up towards the wing, with the mark safely held for South Croydon by Lucas Markovic.
It's fantastic, of course, former Western Bulldog Lucas Markovic still runs around for Footscray in the new VFL side when they want him, I think. So South Croydon looking to rebound something here off their half-back line. The ball's in the hands of Liam Cox, turns around and plays on. Short kick hits up a teammate there in Del Judas. Just another short one over the top. Nick Molney's best and fairest winner at the South Croydon Footy Club, has been around for donkey's years. His kick in the Dan King direction is pretty ill-directed, unfortunately, and there's a turnover. Matty Declare. And here go the Norsemen now. Zach McCubbin across half-back. Takes a bounce. Doesn't have a lot going for him up forward. Gets the handball back. This is looking pretty good for the Norseman. McBride. A long kick inside 50 to probably nobody in particular there. A little bit of a waste. He had a teammate in the goal square just screaming for it. I think it was Brent English. Ball's gone out of bounds on the full. So will be South Croydon looking to bring it back in. That's Eddie. Just foxes everybody there and plays on. Long left foot kick out towards half back, sorry. The ball hits the deck. Fantastic defensive work from Norwood. Going to have another ball up here. So the game really yet to break itself wide open. Norwood probably have had the run of it so far. Had more footy inside their forward 50 than South Croydon. Not a lot going on amongst that pack. Just having a look. Dyson Baker down on the boundary thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Just an interesting point to note, a little bit of byplay between the two benches. O'Sullivan came on for Norwood. All of a sudden, Grattan Stevens was ready and raring to go for his second term in the ruck. So expect those two to go head-to-head most of the afternoon.
They'll certainly be looking, South Croydon are looking to take some serious point with the fact that O'Sullivan is Norwood's second ruckman and Grattan Stevens is, of course, South Croydon's first ruckman. So when he is on the ground, South Croydon play better footy and they're better out of the stoppage and out of the clearance than when young Jake Tucker is in the ruck. So Tucker doing battle there. The ball hits the deck. Players flying in everywhere. Dale Bull's in there for Norwood. I'm not sure how that was extracted. Here comes Liam Cox now, got his head ripped off.
Shit.
Nothing doing there from the umpire.
Should have been Seymour. High tackle.
Yeah, pretty slow going here at the moment.
Might see a third man up pretty soon, boys. It just keeps getting congested.
Looking to break it open, or we know the umpires like playing free kicks in this sort of situation. Norwood are going to get the clearance through Lachlan Dixon. Mark unable to be taken there by Stewie Hill. I'm not sure what he's doing up there at the wrong end of the ground. Players all over each other here, Brad. Probably a little bit stiff not to get a free kick again.
Yeah, I reckon it was stiff not to get paid the mark as well. He seemed to have a lot of it.
Eddie, the clearance for the Bulldogs. Matty Bates going to be the first one there. Does a little bit of dancing. He's got a teammate over the top. Uses him. And now Norwood are using the footy quite well now. I think that's Matty DeClure in the middle of the ground. Goes wider. Matty Ava. Right in the centre of Cheong Park. Low skimming ball. Straight to the opposition player, David King. Turnover. He's going to kick to his brother Dan. Chandler medalist from season 2013. Stops and props to Kavanagh. Takes the mark and plays on. He's going to wheel inside forward 50 on the left boot in the direction of Hughes, who's absolutely manhandled. Oh, put a saddle on him, the fans are yelling out. He's going to get the free kick.
It was a terrific kick there. It was just to his side, to his advantage. It just screwed it around and just too strong there. Jason Eagle is almost getting a piggyback there.
A little bit unlucky not to get a free kick the last time the footy came his way as well. I think they will be hanging off him for most of the day. That's the only way you can really stop him. He's such a big unit. He's going to go for his second goal. Number 49 for the season. Goal umpire does not move. There's the second goal on the board for the South Croydon Football Club. They move to 2-1-13. Norwood 1-1-7 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Really enjoyed the way South Croydon counter-attacked with that first mark to one of the King brothers, and they worked it like triangles, in soccer, where they just opened up the play and finally got that killer kick into the, into the danger zone, and Eagle made great position to win the free kick.
6-point lead to South Croydon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 2-1-13 to Norwood 1-1-7, and Jason Eagle has both of the Bulldogs' goals thus far. 49 goals now for the season for him. As the ball was shovelled out then from DeJager. Got it to Molnar. Long kick forward, but it should have been marked by DeClure. Dropped a very simple mark, and the fans let him know about it here at the Kennel. Lovely kick by English through some heavy traffic. Didn't quite hit his target, but just allowed McCubbin to run onto the footy, and he had plenty of time. McCubbin's kick up towards the wing position. Free kick will go to Dixon. Thumping kick by Lockie Dixon to full forward. No mark held. Marshall swoops on the footy. Hands it off to Dissect. Out of defence now, the Bulldogs just surveying the options. Stuart Hill there guarding the mark really carefully. Kick to the wing. Stevens shared it with Cox. Low kick from Donnell was a beauty. Hits Hughes on the chest. Daniel Hughes Too far out to score. Big high up and under kick. Newman against Eagle. Eagle just looks dangerous every time the ball goes anywhere near him at the moment. Handball was shot out. Ava paddled it to the boundary line, which is where we cross now with thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, trainer's just looking at Matty DeClaire after he pulled up a bit stiff in the left ankle after that contest across half-back. Got no real movement in his legs at the moment, just hobbling around on the ground.
6-point lead for South Croydon still. 17 minutes gone. Umpire throws the ball back into play. It was O'Sullivan who went up in the ruck for Norwood, and that ball going nowhere with thanks to Choose Tap, Grant Campbell.
Yeah, South Croydon on top in the contested possessions, 32-20. They also lead the tackle count, 15-7.
Hughes went up in the ruck this time. Again, the ball going absolutely nowhere. There's another tackle. Mark that one down, Soupy, for Norwood. 6-point lead for South Croydon. The only goal so far for Norwood, we think, was kicked by Matty Jessup.
Yeah, it was that little soccer-style World Cup fever. Put that one through, dribbled along the ground.
This is King. Short kick, beautiful pass to Eagle. And again, gee, he seemed to have a lot of it. The umpire said no mark.
He's still down too.
Thumping kick out of defence. Eagle slow to get to his feet.
Landed straight on his tailbone there.
In the hands of the trainers. Short pass to Stevens. He's had a massive first quarter, Graydon Stevens. Good spoil by McCubbin. Ball shot out to Maynard. Tries to take the tackler on. That was ill-advised. And holding the ball, good decision. Free kick goes to McCubbin for Norwood, who will clear from half-back as the Norsemen still trail by 6 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
McCubbin goes short to a teammate there. Hands across to Johnny Holmes now, the captain of the Norwood Football Club. Through the middle of Cheong Park.
They're off here.
Here they go now through the half high up forward. Juzzy Gould, and he hits a teammate on the chest.
Jordan.
That is Rhett Jordan, the hero from last week, who kicked the point that put them in front against Baldwin. We're going to cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care for the first time this afternoon to Alice Mulvogue.
Yeah, after that marking contest, it appears that Jason Eagle has landed heavily on his tailbone and seems to be just hobbling around in the goal square at the moment. Interesting to see how he pulls up in the next rest of the quarter.
Certainly will be. He's on his haunches at the moment. Kick towards goal from Jordan. Straight through the middle. Never in doubt that one. So there's a second on the board for the Norwood Football Club. They draw level with the Bulldogs here, the Beyond Blue Cup. 2-1-13 apiece on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Zach McCubbin, boy, is just about the best player on the ground at the moment. He's probably used the ball the best out of any of the players on the ground off that half-back line. Great run down and tackle there that set up that play.
He's mopping up a lot of South Croydon footy across half-back line, and it really is. He's almost playing the role that I thought Matty Bate would play across that half-back line, and he's doing it quite well.
So back in the middle, scores dead set level here at Cheong Park, coming up to the time on period, 2-1-13 apiece. Armstrong against Stevens. Ball on the deck, it's pretty willing there in the middle. And ball was shot out from English to Holmes. Holmes's kick just along the ground then, finished up with Stevens, who shared it with Maynard. Maynard's kick's well marked by Holmes. Holmes thumps it forward for Norwood, but safely back there to take the mark. Once again is, it's not Maynard this time, it's Eddie. Eddie's handball. They teamed together well. Descent to Eddie, short pass. Went through the hands of Gisberts, who's probably the first time I've called his name so far this afternoon. Bull drives it forward. Bull's kick to the pack. A lot of players over the footy. Jordan fed it out to English. That was clever. And English that time, forced onto his non-dominant side, still found Gisberts. Ball spilled there by Poynton. Shot out to Jordan. Gould. Intricate little kick was clever to Dixon, who's a very skillful player. Dixon's kick to the forward pocket and eluding Matt McCormack that time. A couple of the Norseman midfielders who have been a bit quiet. Gisberts and Bull just starting to get involved in that passage of play.
Yep.
And they've been quiet early, but Jordan's been terrific in this first quarter. Him and English getting plenty of the footy for Norwood. A lot of players around this ball. English again involved. Sweeping handball was chopped off by Maynard. Diving over the footy A lot of players crashing in then. English again, all wrapped up. Good tackle by De Jager. Brent English was going absolutely nowhere. And as we come up towards 22 minutes gone in the first quarter, scores still level. Low scoring start here at Cheong Park, 2-1, 13 apiece on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Stevens just grabs that one out of the ruck against Armstrong. He probably has been South Croydon's best player, but his kick is ill-directed, straight into the arms of Dixon. Goes straight back to where it came from. Bit of a lucky kick, but it's come off.
That's skill, Seymour. He's a lovely kick, Lockie Dixon.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Just hit it almost Darren Jarman style. His chest height the whole way. The footy's now with Bate in the middle of the ground. Norwood do this well, using the other side of Cheong Park as often as they can. Ford finds a teammate at high half forward. Matty McCormack it is, the former Beyondblue Hawk. Fantastic Division 1 footballer. His long high kick, probably more Bulldogs in there than Norseman at the moment, but the ball's going to hit the ground level. Grattan Stevens comes over the top. Good defensive work there. Both sides really struggling to find some space in their forward line, more so Norwood and South Croydon. I mean, you can tell that they don't have a Lee Williams or a Jason Eagle to kick to at the moment, Norwood. They're really ill-directed when they're going inside 50. Stevens gets another palm down. He really is dominating that part of the ground. Great, fantastic set of hands over the top to King, to Molnar. Shrugs a tackle, back to King. Short little dinky kick. He's turned the ball over straight back to Matty McCormack. He's going to go take two, almost from the same spot, a little bit closer. Norwood looking to find the lead. They're able to kick the first goal of the afternoon. South Croydon hit back with the next two, both through Jason Eagle. Looks like he's going to back himself here and have a shot. The man on the mark, right on the paint of 50.
Well, he looks like Lee Williams. I don't think he's quite as accurate a kick as Lee Williams, but he's a long kick and definitely a chance from here, Matty McCormack.
So when he's up and running, he's a hard player to stop. Left footer. Don't think this one's going to quite make the distance. Just drops at the feet. Fantastic work from South Croydon. Grattan Stevens again able to drop the ball straight down into a defensive teammate and rush the ball over the line for one behind. So Norwood do take the lead, not with the goal they were after. They move to 2-2-14. South Croydon 2-1-13 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Markovic and Strawn shared it, and it was dangerous. Mallison coughed it up, and boundary. Jordan swooped on the footy. He only manages to kick a behind. Let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Spoke a few moments ago about the dominance that South Croydon hold in the ruck. It's going to get a lot easier for him as Connor O'Sullivan's has come on. I think he's copped one in the left shin. We'll see how he goes through the next sort of 5-10 minutes or so.
So Daniel Hughes, long way from goal. Gee, dangerous kick. Went across the ground as the siren sounds to end the first quarter. And pretty tight first quarter it was. Nothing in this game so far. Norwood 2-3-15. South Croydon 2-1-13 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Eagle has 2 goals for the Bulldogs. Goals to Jessup and Jordan for Norwood. Tight first quarter. Just quickly, boys, how did we see that one?
Yeah, I saw it as a really cagey start to the game. Both sides, not wanting to, give away all their cards, I suppose, in that first quarter. I think we'll find as the game goes on, especially in the second half, I think this game will open up. Yep. We'll get a bit more free play and it might become a bit more of a spectacle. But at this stage, yeah, a fairly cagey start to the game.
It is quarter time here at Cheong Park in the Beyond Blue Cup. And the score as it stands, Norwood 2-3-15, South Croydon 2-1-13 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. On the other side of this break, we'll be dissecting the second quarter. Looking forward to that one here at Cheong Park on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
How would you like your coffin to look?
I'd like it covered with farewell messages from all my friends and family.
Can I get a picture of a beautiful sunset over the 12 apostles?
Make mine look like a smartphone.
I'd like black with a yellow sash and the words to the team song as well.
Well, at Tobin Brothers Funerals, anything is possible, including a custom designed and decorated coffin to celebrate your life. To find out more, visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Have you got a premiership or milestone jumper that needs framing? Is the better half nagging you to clean up the man cave? Well, you're in luck. As well as being Australia's largest licensed memorabilia dealer, the team at the Authentic Autographs also do custom framing. From the deep rebated frame, the acid-free pins, the mount will not only look great, but won't damage your prized jumper should you want to relive the glory days. The team will also design a frame, including photos and all the important information, so you have no trouble bragging to the boys. Contact David on 0439 743 710. Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports.
Radio Eastern 98.1 at 20-3, and this sparring comes back here in the studio and will return for the second quarter. South Croydon and Norwood from Cheon Park, Division 1 in just a moment. But let's check some AFL scores and a couple of games played this afternoon. And the one currently underway is over at Adelaide, over in Adelaide, of course, and that's between the Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs. The first quarter, it was the Western Bulldogs in front. Western Bulldogs 3-5-23, leading Port Adelaide 3-1-19. It's currently the 18-minute mark of the second quarter, and the scores are all tied up. It's Bulldogs 4-5-29 and Port Adelaide 4-5-29. For the Bulldogs, the goal scorers Robert has 1, Liberatory 1, and Minson 1. And for Port Adelaide, Schultz, Gray, and Westhoff have 1 each. So 4-5-29 to 4-5-29, all tied up. 18-minute mark of the second quarter. Western Bulldogs, Port Adelaide over and Adelaide over. And the other game this afternoon is the big one at the MCG between Hawthorn and Collingwood. And at quarter time was Hawthorn 4-3-27, leading Collingwood 3-1-19. And it's the end of the first quarter. And that's what the score is, 4-3-27 to Collingwood 3-1-19. Goal scorers for the Hawks, Bruce has 2, 1 each to Roughhead and Schoenmakers, and for the Pies, single goal kickers in Elliott, McCaffer and Young. So at the end of the first quarter, it's Hawthorn 4-3-27, leading Collingwood 3-1-19.
Okay, boys, it's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend.
I'm not going to tank, Coach.
No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breeze tag. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor. Had an accident on the field? Head straight to Ikira Urgent Care for immediate medical treatment, and you won't have to wait. For a maximum of $75, we'll treat your broken bones, sprains, strains, cuts, or any other game day injuries. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Beyondblue, or call us on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Ikira Urgent Care. We have you off the sidelines in no time. Station sponsor.
Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the palm of your hand. And contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season, right from the palm of your hand. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Cheon Park here in South Croydon for the Beyond Blue Cup clash between South Croydon and Norwood. It is quarter time and Norwood lead by 2 points. 2 goals, 3-15 to South Croydon, 2-1-13 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. So nothing in it in that first quarter. 2 goals on the board for South Croydon, kicked by Jason Eagle, who's moved to 49 for the season. And for Norwood, goals to Jessup and Jordan. Let's cross down to the boundary with thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Alice Mulvogue.
Hi, I'm here with the coach of South Croydon, Damien Franken. Damien, what was your message to the boys at the break there?
Oh, look, I was reasonably pleased with our intensity and our pressure in that first quarter, and obviously Norwood's a good side. We're just going to keep working on our work rate, and just at times we turned the ball over. Probably turned it over a few more times than I expected.
Are you happy with the defensive work and the rebound off the half-back during the first quarter?
Yeah, look, I think that Norwood ended up with 15 inside 50s to our 11. So I guess we really keeping to 2 goals from that sort of pressure I thought was really pleasing.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you there to Alice on the boundary, and thanks to Damien Franken for being very generous as always with his time there at quarter time. And with thanks to Choose Tap, let's head to the soupy one, Grant Campbell.
Yeah,
for first quarter stats, Susie.
South Croydon were on top of the clearances, winning that 12-6. They lost the inside 50 camp. Intercept marks, we just mentioned there, it was 7-5 in favour of Norwood, so a lot of sloppy play, and I think King was responsible for a few of those.
Second quarter just about to get underway. Brad Henderson, your host on 98.1 Radio Eastern this afternoon. And to get things started, they're just waiting for the time clock to reset to 0 at the moment on the electronic scoreboard. Because at the moment it shows 7 minutes 25. Now we're away, and Paul Semertzidis to get us underway.
I'll turn my microphone on.
Boundary.
Dyson Baker, thanks to Akira Urgent Care. What did you figure out there at quarter time?
Yeah, headed over to the Norwood huddle. The Norsemen pretty confident in what was going on. Dennis Knight, as we heard before the game, pretty confident in what they're showing so far. The forward structure isn't quite as sound as it could be. One issue that they had from Norwood, they needed to release the halfback, the quarterback they used, as it's called these days, a little bit smarter. Give it a bit more of an open handball, open up that kick and make it more accountable. And need to make them pay from half forward. A couple of times they got it from sort of 65 to 45 out and couldn't make South Croydon pay. But still very confident, the Norsemen.
And so they should be. It's still a very tight game here. Norwood currently lead by 2 points. The footy right now is in the hands of Rhett Jordan. His fantastic rebound play for Norwood. He's turned the ball over. Eddie brings the ball to ground. Picked up there by Dissect. And now the Bulldogs are off and running. Here they go through half forward. Molnar. How did Donnell get all by himself? He's taken the mark.
It's Matty Bates man again, boys.
He's running some serious rings around him, Stevie Donnell. About 50 metres out, right in front of the home fans here at Cheong Park. I think he's a little bit too minds here. He might go back and have the shot now. He's just trying to line it up, asking the umpire how much more room Matty Bates has to come forward. Kicking from just on 50 metres. It'll be a tough one. Certainly won't be backing him from here, but he's got to have a crack. Stevie Donnell. Long right foot kick on the way. Looks pretty straight.
Sausage.
Is it going to have the... Oh, it does. It does the legs. Fantastic stuff from Stevie Donnell. I didn't think he'd put it through from there, but he's proved me wrong. That's a fantastic kick. South Croydon draw first blood here in the second quarter. They move to 3-1-19. Norwood 2-3-15 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, let's have a look at around the ground scores at quarter time as well. Division 4, Kilsyth leading Eastern Lions by 23 points. Surrey Park are leading Nuttawading by 21. Park Orchards are leading Coldstream by 31. And Warrandyte leading Sylvan by 8. In Division 3, Upper Ferntree leading Heathmont by 32 points. Mitcham are leading South Belgrade by 30. Templestowe are leading Whitehorse by 8 points. And Baronia leading Wanturn South by 6.
Well, thanks very much, Will Taylor. Back in the middle, 4-point lead to South Croydon, 3-1-19 to Norwood, 2-3-15. A lot of players surrounding this football. Jordan there applies a strong tackle on Donnell, and the ball's going nowhere. It will be balled up by umpire Jason Herman. Umpire throws it up, Armstrong goes up against Stevens. Those two having an absorbing battle at the moment. Bates kick forward. Chopped off by Dissect. Slick handball was shot out by Bull to Boynton. Boynton had his kick smothered. Possibly held then by Marshall. No free kick. Boynton was beset upon then by 2 or 3 Bulldogs. And the umpire, there's a secondary whistle then, so have we got a free kick being paid?
It's going the way of South Croydon, I think.
Yeah, it is, so just tempers boiling over slightly, and that was costly for Norwood, conceding a free kick to Marshall, who farms it off to King, Dan King. Lovely kick to Del Judas. John Del Judas, not his best effort, really set his teammates a hard task with the kick, and Gisbert's there, happy to escort the ball to the boundary line. Back to Will Taylor with some quarter-time scores, Wilbur.
Yeah, Division 2 now. Croydon leading Waverley Blues by 8 points. Mooroolbark leading Doncaster East by 28. East Bell leading North Ringwood by 1 point. And Bayswater leading Doncaster by 18.
Sharp work from you there, Will Taylor. And sharp work here from Norwood as well as they're streaming forward here at Cheong Park. Rhett Jordan, short little kick. Couldn't quite find McCormack. He's going to pick it up on the bounce. Gone to McBride. Only player out there for Norwood in the long sleeves today. His short kick misses the target again to Jordan. They're butchering the footy going inside 50 Norwood. That is what Dyson Baker said. Dennis Knight said it at quarter time. Markovic picks it up. His handball goes straight to Rhett Jordan. There's going to be a free kick off the ball. It's going to go back to Lucas Markovic. And now South Croydon look to really start something from this foray forward. It's Strawn. Strawn currently in the South Croydon defensive back line. His fantastic kick finds Hughes on centre wing, right in front of the scoreboard. South Croydon really pressing here. They've kicked the first goal here in the second quarter. The second one would be handy as well. King finds the ball in the middle of the ground. He handballs off to Molnar. Molnar's kick to half forward in the Eagle direction. He's got a really big chest and he just puffs it out there. The ball sticks to it like glue. He's going to go back and have a shot from 50 metres out, almost directly in front.
And it's that delivery there, boys. They finally got the ball into the right hands there and delivered to a big Eagle on the lead. That's what they need to do, both sides. You see Norwood, I think Norwood are struggling with that forward target at the moment. There's no one really coming up to the footy demanding it.
And it was kick, 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 and then go. The reel and go was fantastic. They were very patient. This kick from Jason Eagle, sorry, just goes across the face of goal. He was going for his 50th goal of the season there, Brad Henderson. Just pushed it to the right-hand side.
Yep, didn't miss by too much. Certainly distance was no problem then for Jason Eagle. As Bate to bring the ball back in, does a lot of the kicking in duties for Norwood. So Matty Bate takes his full allotment of time. Eagle tried to lunge it in but missed the target. Bates' kick in the direction of Ava. Norwood managed to clear pretty well here up towards the wing. Well played then by Kirkby-Rodier. Handball over the top to Callagher. Brad Callagher unselfishly, but his intent was unselfish. Execution was poor though. He missed the target in McCormack. McCormack has time to steady though, but his kick was poor. Was chopped off by Cox. Gives it to Strawn. Strawn through the middle is usually a lovely kick of the ball. This is no exception. And great footy on the counter-attack then from the Bulldogs as Eagle on a long lead and takes the mark.
Brad Callagher should have just had the shot, running into an open goal, tried the team thing.
Yep, absolutely he should have. He was the leading goal kicker in the competition about 4 years ago, but he's hardly kicked a goal since. Been in a defensive role. It's like he's forgotten how to kick goals. Eagle kicks his 50th of the season. There's a man who definitely hasn't forgotten how to kick a goal. 50 goals on the board now for Jason Eagle this year. 3 goals today, and just opens up the handy lead for the Bulldogs as they move on to 3-2-20, and Norwood still on 2-2-14.
3 shots at goal so far for South Croydon in the second quarter. Eagle kicked one there, he had another shot, and Donnell kicked one. They've all been from about 45 to 55 metres out, fellas, so I think there's a serious thought for South Croydon is not to be too predictable and try and get the ball too deep.
Sorry, just quick score check there. South Croydon, in fact, 4-2-26. Norwood 2-3-15. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Stevens gets the hit out, as he has done for most of the afternoon here. Goes straight to Johnny Holmes. He's wrapped up by Liam Cox. And they're going to have a secondary bounce in the middle of Cheong Park. Stevens over the top again. We'll talk about him for most of the day. Looks like he's set for a really big one. Johnny Holmes crashes in hard. Unlucky not to get the free kick. We're going to have another bounce again. So it's going to be a little bit of a stoppage fest today as Will Taylor has some more around the ground scores for us, Wilbur.
Yeah, Division 1 now. Blackburn leading the board by 5 points. Montrose leading Notts by 7. East Rimwood by 26 over Noble Park. Vermont by 19 over Roval.
Fantastic work from you again as the clearance comes out for Norwood. Now in their forward line, Eddie to Marshall. Here come the South Croydon Football Club. Jimmy Crowell, that was a shocking kick. He's duffed it. Turned over straight. Now Johnny Holmes has the footy for Norwood. He evades a tackle. Long kick inside 50 over the head of Eddie. McCormack comes out to meet it, unable to get the half volley. And the South Croydon defence, well, it's been sure. It's been fantastic for most of the day. As Maynard goes across the ground and finds Glenn Strawn. His long left foot kick is usually pretty good, and that is no exception. Have a look at that. That's hit Danny Hughes at full stretch. That's the second or third mark he's taken this quarter in that spot, leading up from half forward to Liam Cox. I've liked his work in the second term. He's got Del Judas on the other side of the ground. Now South Croydon look like they're off. Del Judas does the old 1-2. He's got a teammate at half forward. He finds him. He gets Tucker. It is young Jake Tucker, and it's just his second game of senior footy. Has a little bit of a look. Jason Eagle trying to find some space. He's going to lead hard in the pocket. Oh, only unable to get the 2 hands to it. Brings the ball down. It was good from South Croydon. You can see their intent to slow it down and not blaze away. Dyson Baker, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, boys, spoke about Matty Declare during that first term. He's probably only going to be running 5 to 7 minute spurts. Left knee heavily strapped up. Could possibly be almost half a man down for the second half of this game.
That could be absolutely massive in a game like this. Norwood get the clearance out of the congestion. Straight to Matty Bate. Going to try and use the centre of the ground. That kick comes off. Here they go now. This is where they've been falling down for most of the afternoon. McBride has it on centre wing. Everybody just flooding back. Norwood really pushing up the ground, and they've got nothing to kick to.
There's no Norwood player leading up at the footy, fellas. It's just stagnant, running back into space.
No, there's not, and Gould runs over the top there almost King Kerry style and gets on the end of that one. As Dale Bull, I haven't called his name too much this afternoon. We know how good he is when he gets up and running. He finds Holmes. Thought Holmes was going to play on there half forward, but he doesn't. He stops and he props. He's got a free man over the back here in Gisbert's. It's not quite going to get that far, but Manny McCormack comes out and takes a fantastic mark on the lead. That was a brilliant kick by Johnny Holmes. A little bit of a slow build-up there. It's probably not quite sure how Manny McCormack was actually able to find so much space. Almost inexcusable.
I really enjoyed the way they did build it up, though. It was patient. You know, it was execution style. Like, you know, the way they just waited for their moment. You know, to put in that cross, for example, if I could compare sports. But it was beautiful work there.
Here comes Manny McCormack on the left foot. Very deliberate approach. He's kicked the third goal for the Norsemen. They go to 3-3-21. South Croydon 4-2-26 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's punch for punch, blow for blow out here at Cheong Park. And Grant Soupy Campbell, thanks to Choostap, you've got some stats that matter.
Yeah, that was Norwood's first mark inside 50 this quarter. South Croydon have 3. 5 inside 50s apiece, and it's sort of changed to an outside game this quarter because the contested ball's 9 apiece, but South Croydon leading the uncontested possessions 25-19.
11 minutes gone in the second quarter already. It's seems to have gone fast this quarter. South Croydon 4-2-26. Norwood 3-3-21, just 5 points, and the intensity's definitely lifted in the second term. Holmes got it out to McCubbin, I should say. Little quick kick forward. Didn't really favour the Bulldogs then. Shot out to Hill. Stuart Hill's kick, not his best effort. It was intended for Gould, but the boundary line was beckoning, and in fact the ball carried over the line out on the full, so free kick goes to the Bulldogs. Plenty of shepherding going on on the mark there. So short pass for the Bulldogs. Mallison has been very quiet so far. Long kick to full forward. Hill set himself for the punch and through for a minus score. So just another behind on the board then for South Croydon, 4-3-27, Norwood 3-3-21. Bendigo Bank scoreboard as Bate prepares to bring the ball back in once more for Norwood.
And he hits a target straight to an ex-Melbourne teammate, and obviously current Norwood teammate, Geordie Gisberts, who just sinks the slipper into this one and hits it right into the middle of the ground. Got away with a little bit of a shove there, did Stewie Hill. Stands tall and takes the mark. Plays on quickly, a scrubbing looking left foot kick towards McBride, who's had a lot of footy out there in that far wing here in the second quarter. And then now it looks like the Norsemen are starting to really slow down and get some consecutive footy together. As Rhett Jordan plays on, inside 50 to Bate. Matty Bate, who was dealt with there by King, nothing doing, and the Dogs are going to rebound. Donnell. Oh, his kick was overcooked, horribly overcooked, and it's going to come straight back. High kick out to the half-forward position. Coming out and taking the mark was Matty Jessup. First goal scorer today for those of us having a little bit of a bet at home. Here he comes now, short kick inside 50 to Matty Bate. Let off the chain there. He's taking a mark inside forward 50 for Norwood, and certainly not beyond his range of kicking. I think he's going to end up taking this kicker about 45 metres out. A little bit better than the 45-degree angle.
Boys, Jordan Gisbert's really starting to get into the game. It's more so around the contest. He's just getting that first handball from the ruckman's tap. We saw him in the back pocket there before, but you just notice him just around those contests, getting the first hands on the footy.
Yeah, it was Gisbert that hit Jessup. Jessup's now hit Matty Bate for the second successive goal for Norwood. It's a little bit of a helicopter rough and tumble Stephen Kernahan style kick off the boot. That one from Matty Bate, but it doesn't matter. They don't draw pictures of him. It's gone straight through the middle of the big sticks. The Norwood Football Club have hit the lead here at Cheong Park. They move to scores a level, sorry. Waiting for it to come back up on the scoreboard. One of these annoying scoreboards here that every time a goal is kicked, it goes to an advertisement of some sort. But it's 4-3-27 apiece on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Gets me every time that, Brad. I go and have a look at the score and I've got an ad for the bloody chemist around the corner. It's driving me nuts.
It is frustrating. 4-3-27 apiece. As this is Poynton, the man they call Fingers, gave it to Dixon. Dixon's high up and under kick. Ford takes possession now. Jake Ford. High up and under kick again. This time intended for Jordan, who took a terrific mark. Rhett Jordan, former Former Croydon player, of course. To full forward, McCormack and Stevens there tried to work back and tried to fill the hole, but there was some holding on going on.
Yeah, it was by Markovic. He was just holding his direct opponent in McCormack and wasn't allowing him to contest the ball, and obviously drew the free kick there.
Well spotted, Andy. Matt McCormack has kicked 1 goal today and has a chance at goal number 2. Usually a pretty good kick of the footy. Former Boronia strong man. Left footer, of course. Liked it off the boot as soon as he kicked it. And that is the 2nd goal on the board for Matt McCormack. And it opens up a 6-point lead for Norwood, 5-3-33. South Croydon, 4-3-27 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. In the first quarter, the Norwood forward line, it looked completely dysfunctional. I was thinking, who could they throw in there? Could it be a Calla, maybe even a Rhett Jordan? But Matty McCormack's really stood up here so far in the second quarter, and suddenly they find themselves in front.
I think they're making really good use of the far side of the ground. Most of their attacks forward in the second term, going out here towards the left of your radio dial, have started from out in front of the scoreboard. Whether or not that's a conscious effort or just the way it's been played out, but they're actually looking quite good when they move the footy. South Croydon are going to get the clearance here, courtesy of a free kick to Nick Molnar. A little bit of holding on there in the stoppage. Handballs to Strawn. Handballs over the top to Stevens. Never handball to a ruckman unless it's Grattan Stevens. He's in great nick today. His short kick finds Robbie Mellison at half forward. It's been a little bit quiet. One of South Croydon's probably more important players if he can really find a lot of footy at the feet of Big Jace Eagle. His long kick towards the teeth of goal. It might just fly over the back of the pack. Oh, I think it's hit the post, actually. That's a massive kick from Robbie Mellison. That's gone the best part of 60 metres. It's gone through for a point, unfortunately for him. The score moves to 4-4-28. Norwood 5-3-33 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Bate brought the ball back in and finds Dixon in the back pocket. Lockie Dixon wants to switch. No, he's a bit indecisive, but he's always effective by foot. And a neat pass to Poynton, who spent last year in the SANFL, back at Norwood this year. It's been a welcome addition to their team. Put it out on the full that time, though. English couldn't quite... well, it was out in the full anyway, so the free kick goes to Strawn.
It's been pretty good this quarter, Brad. Been prominent.
He's a lovely kick, Len Strawn. He's a very stylish left footer, as so many of them are. Got it to Maynard. High kick by Maynard. Big pack contesting, fisted away. Centre half back at the moment for Norwood. They try to crash through. That was Kirkby-Rodier. Ball spills clear. Long kick at the goal. I think it is a goal. And it's a great goal for the Bulldogs to level the scores once again. Might have been Marshall who kicked it.
Cox.
I'll just keep the...
Yeah, it was Liam Cox. She just said on that.
Thanks very much. Liam Cox kicking the goal then for South Croydon. And scores level once again on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
South Croydon just edged in front by a point. We would know that if the scoreboard comes up straight away, Brad, but there it is, 5-4-34 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 5-3-33. This is a fantastic game of Division 1 footy. Neither side is going to let the other one really get away from them, and it's great from a commentating point of view. It looks like we're going to be in for an absolute nail-biter as English just grabs this ball out of the stoppage and runs around, kicks a long inside 50 for the Norwood Football Club. Unable to take the mark there. Got a high tackle. Did Anthony Dissent. That was a little bit crude. It was Connor O'Sullivan able to take the mark for Norwood. And now South Croydon looking to kick their second goal in a row. A little bit of punch for punch so far here at Cheon Park. Shaw kicked it in the Stevens direction. It goes over the top of his head. And Liam Cox slides in and takes an absolute ripper. I'm not sure actually how he got a hold of that one. Short kick bounces at the feet of Del Judas.
Both teams take that mark to the third umpire.
Yeah, I don't reckon it carried either Dyson Baker down there. But Grant Soupy Campbell's got some stats that matter.
South Croydon leading the hit-outs 8-4, but losing the clearances 7-4.
Here we go again. Fantastic work there. Just bulldozing his way through for South Croydon was the redhead, Daniel Maynard. He's actually been pretty good today. I've liked his work. And the ball comes out now to King. He's got a teammate on short who finds him, Tucker. Tucker's long kick in the Eagle direction. Why wouldn't you kick to him? Oh, just chopped off there. Geordie Gisbert's come back with courage.
Might be a 25 here, guys. Eagle came in late after the mark.
Yeah, he was dealt with, but no, yep, you're right, Andy. You're right on top of that one. The umpire's paid a 25-metre penalty.
It was a bit harsh on Eagle as well because he was already in flight, so he couldn't exactly back out of it after he'd already jumped to try and mark the ball. And obviously with the intercepting player coming in, there was no choice for the umpire but to pay the 25.
Brave man, Geordie Gisbert. You wouldn't see me running back into the flight with Jason the Hulk Eagle going at 100 kilometres an hour the other way. He is a big unit.
That's why we're in here, Seymour.
Absolutely right, Andy Paolacci. Kick finds Newman. Nice. In the Armstrong direction. He stands tall, takes a really good mark. Now Norwood again on that far side in front of the scoreboard. They trail by 1 point. 20 minutes gone here. About to tick into time on in the second term. He goes in the McCormick direction.
Well done.
That's a great mark. Gets the Dukes up. Takes a fantastic contested mark. Anthony Dissent, the defender from South Croydon, unable to get a fist in. Rhett Jordan's down there, as is Brent English. He's going to go in that direction. Kicks it to a 3-on-1. And Grattan
Stevens was there the whole time, fellas. He was there the whole time.
He was just waiting for it, wasn't he, Aaron?
And he just, they just kicked it straight to him. Yeah. Exactly what he was after.
Yep. Completely ill-directed. Now South Croydon looking to rebound. King to Donnell. It finds Hughes, who's done a few good marks leading up from half forward here this afternoon. His long kick inside 50. Eagle's going to sit underneath it. He takes the mark. How did he do that? Newman is having some serious problems with Jason Eagle, who plays on. Left foot kick around the corner. The goal umpire is going to come back into the middle and salute for Jason Eagle's 4th goal of the afternoon. South Croydon 6th. They move to 6-4-40. Norwood a 5-3-33. A 7-point lead to the South Croydon Football Club on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. That was a fantastic passage of play. And what about the mark from Jason Eagle? Is it time for Norwood to look at maybe change that up? I think Stuart Hill would be a better matchup than Jesse Newman at the moment.
Yeah. I was surprised they didn't start Hill on Eagle. I think he's their best defender, and Newman's doing his best. There isn't much more he can do, but I reckon Stuart Hill would be a better matchup.
Dyson Baker, thanks to Akira Urgent Care, just owning the show from the boundary line this afternoon.
No chance of seeing Matty Declare beyond half-time. I don't think he's looking in a pretty ordinary way with that left knee. See how he goes after half-time, but definitely not going to see him in the next 5-10 minutes.
So that's a loss for Norwood.
Quite an influential first term across half-back, I thought, Matty Declare.
Yeah, made a couple of mistakes, but generally was good and certainly did a lot of that mopping up role along with McCubbin. They certainly kept the South Croydon forwards at bay in that first term. So Stevens against Armstrong. Jordan crashed his way through. Handball was shot out to Dixon. Shared it with Holmes. John Holmes has had a very good second quarter. Lovely kick to Bate. Bate wheels around, has a teammate loose on his own. Lovely, it's Poynton. Poynton dishes off the handball to Jordan, fires at the goals and kicks a great goal. Team lifting goal for the Norseman, kicked by Rhett Jordan, and it narrows the deficit back to just 1 point on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 6-3-39 at Norwood. South Croydon 6-4-40. Not sure why the Dogs are barking, because it was a goal to the Norsemen. And it's just 1 point in the margin.
It's great work by Des Knight to ring the changes in that forward line. I said a Rhett Jordan or a Matthew Bateman, they're both involved in that play there. And it's great for Norwood to keep the South Croydon defence guessing as this game moves forward.
Just that lead up though from Matty Bate we spoke about before the game. That's what they need.
Yeah, it's the next link in the chain, isn't it?
It is absolutely right. I can remember countless AFL games when Matty Bate controlled footy games from half forward.
He was that link between the midfield and the forward line.
Stevens to do battle in the ruck with Armstrong, like they have done for most of the afternoon. Gisbert's in there, turns the ball straight over though to Donnell, and here comes South Croydon. A high kick out towards the boundary line in front of the Cheong Park supporters. How's the bounce? It's going to stay in, but only for about 3 more seconds. And Danny Hughes sees it out over the line, right out in front of just the hordes of spectators here at Cheong Park this afternoon. Everybody getting right around the Beyond Blue Cup and the South Croydon Football Club. The ball comes back in now, the home side. They still lead by a point. Clearance to Norwood. English will be the first one there. The crowd really getting involved here. I'm sure you can hear that through the effects mic. Brent English not able to reel that one in. We're going to have another throw in here. Right on centre wing. Stevens and Armstrong, just stacks of players around this ball. I doubt this one's going to go anywhere either. And they're going to just scrub forward a little bit, pointing to Holmes. Holmes, high kick in the middle of the ground. Just travels the relevant 15 metres and marked by Donnell, who kicks to half forward. Here comes South Croydon now. They're on. They're a chance to score. Mallison. A little bit further out from where he was before when he really let one go. Not a lot of movement up ahead. Just goes right to the back. Armstrong's there. He's interfered with and he's going to get a free kick. Anthony Dissent just far too outsized there to even have any sort of impact against Armstrong in that
Seen a few worse than that today, though, that weren't played.
He seemed to keep his hands down, didn't he? But yeah, nonetheless, the free kick was played.
Right, but it's going to be coming straight back inside forward 50. The ball's gone out on the full. Maynard to King. Switches in board. Short kick over the top. Hughes pushed out of it. Not going to get a free kick, though. Pretty similar to the one before, but nothing doing there. And here come Norwood again. The game's just sort of just slowed up a little bit right before half time here. 25 minutes gone here in the second term. Funny old kick down to centre wing. Eddie's there. So is O'Sullivan, Matty Bate, Jessup to the goal kicker and Rhett Jordan. He's immediately beset upon by Donnell, and the umpire's just going to come in and bounce it up. So not a lot happening in the last 2 or 3 minutes here. Rhett Jordan's been pretty good. I've liked his stuff. Stevens and Armstrong again. Stevens it is to get the tap down in the path of King.
Ooh. Friendly fire there, I think.
No, I think Danny King rang straight into the head. I think Zach McCubbin it is. Doesn't have
an Oscar award in it for that one.
Hasn't had a massive second term. Handballs to English, who's long left foot kick inside 50 towards Bate and McCormack. Bate backing back, unable to take the mark. Markovic will be the first one there to mop up. His handball goes straight to Dale Bull, who's a beset upon it immediately. Now Eddie's in there. Gets the handball out towards the goal. They're just going to try and rush this one through South Croydon, and eventually they do.
Dangerous play by Eddie, hand passing across
comedy of errors.
Almost
got done for holding the ball there, but eventually it all worked out. Now the scores are level.
Lovely kick.
Del Judas takes the mark on the wing, shares it with Chris Donnell. Donnell hugging the boundary, searching run from him. Hill will track the footy down. Got to it second and applied a strong tackle on Hughes, who wanted a free kick, wasn't paid.
Hands.
Holmes, his hands were very good. They come out of defence, the Norseman. Jordan on the wing. Gee, didn't play that all that well. It was a high up and under kick, but it worked out okay. Landed in the arms of McBride, who always wears the long sleeves, even on a warm, sunny day. Gisbert's kick was a beautiful one to McCormack, and this has been the man of the second quarter for mine.
Yep.
Matty McCormack absolutely on fire in this second term, and he's giving a real focal point for the Norsemen.
And the difference there, boys, Norwood have been struggling off at half, back line with the kicking. They're going close to the boundary line. They got it into McCubbin's hands again. Used the footy well, that first kick out of defence, and that set it up again.
That doesn't miss too many, Matty McCormack. I saw one of his last games for Baronia, where he kicked 8 straight in a final against Templestowe out at Walker Park. Had the ball on a string that day. When he does get a chance to kick a goal, he usually doesn't let it slip by.
So McCormack, distance not a problem. Accuracy looks, well, it was a bit of a floater, and it cannoned into the woodwork. So a minus score then for Norwood, 6-5-41. South Croydon 6-4-40. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, McCormack unable to add to his 2 goals so far.
They've taken the lead though here. 28 minutes gone in the second quarter. Well, and then there's the half-time siren. And not the longest, loudest or most impressive siren I've ever heard, but there it is all the same. Half-time here, Brad Henderson. It's Norwood 6-5-41. They lead South Croydon by just a point, 6-4-40 in the Beyond Blue Cup.
Yeah, it's a tight ball game, that's for sure, on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Just 1 point in it at half-time. 6-5 plays 6-4. It is Norwood leading by a point. The undefeated Norwood looking for yet another win this afternoon, but South Croydon providing a great challenge. It is half-time here at Cheong Park in the Beyond Blue Cup, and we'll be back with plenty more on the other side of this break on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
How would you like your coffin to look?
I think maybe my wedding photo would look good.
Like HMAS Melbourne. I spent the best years of my life on that ship.
Oh, a picture of me and the kids from when I was younger and they were babies.
Lots of pretty flowers.
Well, at Tobin Brothers Funerals, anything is possible, including a custom-designed and decorated coffin to celebrate your life. To find out more, visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. They not only consistently have the best retail prices and customer service in the business, They're the ideal partner for your next club or community function. Their range is the most extensive in the industry, and with prime access to all the newest ranges through to one-off items, they have a proven track record in delivering vital funds to your club. Authentic Autographs is also #1 in creating the player experience for your club. Training nights, golf days, guest speakers, you name it, they can deliver. Contact David on 0439 743 710 today to discuss how you can give your club the best off-field performance for 2014 and beyond.
Radio Eastern 98.1 EFL Gameday. It's 3:15. Barry Cross back here in the studio on this Saturday afternoon in Melbourne's outer east. We're expecting a mostly cloudy afternoon. The isolated showers should clear, so relatively clear afternoon, and winds are very light northerly. And currently in Melbourne's outer east, it's on 16 degrees, and the forecast for tomorrow Sunday is a mostly sunny day and 15. And for Monday, windy with showers, 14. Possible shower for Tuesday and 12, and 14 for Wednesday, and also a possible shower. And we'll return for the Pie Shed halftime show, Division 1, South Croydon and Norwood at Cheon Park in just a moment. But time to check some AFL scores, and it's half-time, the game at the MCG this afternoon between Hawthorn and Collingwood. And at half-time, relatively close game. It's Hawthorn 7-7-49 is leading Collingwood 6-4-40. Major goal kickers for the Hawks, Brewster has 3, Roughhead 2, and also Segler 1. And for Collingwood, Travis Cloak has 3, Elliott 1, and McCaffrey 1. Major possession getters for the Hawks, Sewell 18, Hodge 15, and Birchall 12. And for Collingwood, Pendlebury 19, Swan 15, and Adams 12. And the other game this afternoon is over at the Adelaide Oval, and that's between Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs. That was the earlier game underway this afternoon, and currently it's Port Adelaide 8-5-53, leading Western Bulldogs 5-5-35, and it's at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter. At half-time, it was Port Adelaide 7-5-47, leading the Western Bulldogs 5-5-35. Major goal kickers for Port, Bock has 2, Schultz also has 2, and Westhoff has 2. And for the Bulldogs, single goal kickers, Robert, Liberatory and Minson have 1 each. Major possession getters for Port, Wines 17, Bock 15, Corns 15. And for the Bulldogs, Boyd 16, McRae also 16, and Higgins 15. Now, the other game played this afternoon is the Twilight game, and that's at Metricon Stadium, and that's between Gold Coast and Geelong, and that gets underway at 20-5. And we'll keep you updated all AFL scores right throughout the afternoon, but stick around because on the other side of the break, it's the Pie Shed halftime show right here on EFL Gameday.
Good news, boys. It's 20% off to travel on Eastlink on weekends and public holidays with a car tag. So, with the money you'll save, you'll have enough.
Enough for what, Coach?
My birthday present next week, and I have my eye on some sparkly gold footy boots with some pandas on them.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's east. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
In sparkly boots.
Program sponsor. Had an accident on the field? Head straight to Ikira Urgent Care for immediate medical treatment, and you won't have to wait. For a maximum of $75, we'll treat your broken bones, sprains, strains, cuts, or any other game day injuries. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Beyondblue, or call us on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Ikira Urgent Care. We have you off the sidelines in no time. Station sponsor.
Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the palm of your hand. And contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season right from the palm of your hand. For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Cheon Park here in South Croydon, and it is a ball game of sorts as we've seen in the first half. It's been tit for tat and goal for goal through the first 2 quarters of this one. It's currently Norwood leading this one 6-5-41 to South Croydon, 6-4-41. Of course, EFL Game Day proudly supporting Beyond Blue and the Beyond Blue Cup to be awarded to the winning side of this afternoon's game. We'll quickly cross to Soupy Campbell with the Choose Tap match stats.
In that second quarter, South Croydon were on top in the hit-outs 13-8. They didn't make that count because they lost the clearances 11-6. Norwood were on top in the contested ball 29-22. Inside 50 camp, interestingly, it went South Croydon's way 15-13. As I mentioned before, that became a lot more outside game. In the first quarter, there were 71 contested possessions and 93 uncontested. That quarter, it was 51 contested and 98 uncontested. If it stays an uncontested game, Dyson, who do you see that favouring?
Look, I think that it probably plays into Norwood's hands. We've seen that they've got enough big bodies around the contest that are going to make the difference in this game. What about your thoughts, Andy?
Yeah, I think they're a cleaner side with the football, and I predicted that the game would eventually open up. I didn't think it would be this soon, but it has, and for whatever reason, I do believe Norwood would probably be the better side with the uncontested ball.
You're, of course, listening to the Pie Shed halftime show, and it's lucky for us that we're just down the road from the Pie Shed, so I think a few of us may head to the Pie Shed and get some of the Pie Shed's delicious pies once we're finished here at 5 p.m. Your thoughts on the game, Aaron? I mean, it was a really tight, contested game early. There was a lot of free kicks that probably weren't paid just through the sheer force of some of the tackles that were late in that first term. Opened up, allowed a few of the forwards, particularly at the Norwood end of the ground, to really start getting a bit of a stranglehold on the game, which has become evident so far.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the Norwood forwards and the midfielders were starting to run back in the forward 50 rather than leading up at the midfielders. Yeah. So that struggled, and they're kicking it long to no one that's a real key big target. They pushed Matty Bate forward in the latter half of that second quarter. They had someone really leading up at it as well, and Matty McCormack started to lead up to the footy a bit better. So that's something, and also the class midfielders from each team were starting to get their hands on the ball a bit more cleaner in the contest. And I spoke about Geordie Gisbert's halfway through that second quarter. He started to get his hand on and feed the handballs out. Rhett Jordan was terrific. He runs really hard, and also some of the South Croydon boys as well were getting their hands on the footy and being able to get clearer clearances, if that makes sense.
One thing that I was looking at down from the boundary, and I sort of saw it, I think there's a little bit of frustration from the Hulk, Jason Eagle. I think the bombs that are coming in don't really suit him, particularly with Matty Ava playing such a great game for Norwood at the moment, just holding him down. That's only going to get worse in the second half if he can't sort of get off the leash in the next sort of 5-10 minutes of this third quarter. Yeah, well, you've seen a few, 2-on-1s, obviously going against the way of Jason Eagle, and unfortunately, as I mentioned early in the quarter, he, inadvertently gave away a 25-metre penalty. So, yeah, I mean, look, the frustration is something that he's going to have to manage in the second half. Look, he's experienced enough to know how to deal with it. So, I'm sure he will get his, speak with his fellow forward teammates and how best to, obviously kick a winning score.
I think it's easy, though, to get caught away. You see the size of him up against Newman down there, and he's pushed him out of the way a few times. But he's also lightning quick on the lead, Jason Eagle. Yeah. And I think most of his goals today have come from when they've been able to lower the eyes and hit him leading up at the footy.
That's it. He's got to get on his bike and stay at home.
Yeah, exactly. And don't let those players drop in front of you. You leave up at the footy, they're not going to be able to drop in front as much.
It's interesting to note, just looking at the way Norwood have structured up in the first half, I mean, the times when they've actually been dominant in this game is when they've slowed it down, taken it out to the wing, particularly on the outer side, and actually controlled the play. And that's something that we haven't seen from a Norwood side in a few years, but it's actually paying dividends for them.
Yeah, as I mentioned, there has been some patient build-up play, particularly on that far wing, as you mentioned there, Dyson. But what I really like is that killer kick that comes in, and it comes in central to their forward line. So they're actually having a lot of their shots.
The cross, you called it before.
Yeah, on relatively good angles. So that could be something that has been coached, or it's sort of just the way it's playing out, but or the way McCormack is leading. But for whatever reason, it's sort of they're building towards that central part of the forward line, and they're giving themselves the best chance of again kicking a winning score.
We'll go around the grounds. Will Taylor, some of the around the ground scores, a few big results happening right across the Eastern Football League.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start off with Division 1, and it is Blackburn by 9 points over Bowen. In that game, Knox are actually in front of Montrose by 9 points at half time. East Ringwood by 21 over Noble Park. Vermont by 5 over Roval. And of course, as we mentioned, Norwood leading South Croydon by a point in that quarter time. It Scoresby by 19 points over Lilydale. In Division 2 today, it is Bayswater and Doncaster all tied up at 41. So a bit of deja vu for Bayswater and Doncaster in that game. Croydon leading Waverley Blues by 22 points. Mooroolbark by 29 points over Doncaster East. And then North Ringwood are leading East Build by 49 points. In Division 3 today, it is Upper Galley leading Heathorn by 6 points. Ringwood are leading Glen Waverley by 16 points. Mitcham by 47 over South Belgrave. Templestowe by 15 over Whitehorse. It is Wanturn South by 14 over Boronia. And in Division 4, Kilsyth by 5 points over Eastern Lions. Surrey Park by 36 over Nuttawading. And it is Warrandyte by 24 over Sylvan. And if anyone wants to know how our under-15s are going in the Junior Championships, they're actually down by 11 points. 4-2-26 South Metro to, of course, the EFL boys are 2-3-15.
Hopefully the boys can pick it up in the second half and we can make it 2 from 2 for the Eastern Football League. Will Taylor, just go back to that Division 1 score because I think you glossed over it just a little bit. The Battle of the Birds, the Magpies and the Falcons, just for everyone playing at home to know it wasn't an incorrect score.
No, it wasn't. Scoresby 5-4-34, Lilydale 2-3-15, and of course, as I mentioned, Notts are leading Montrose, another upset, 10-7-67 to 8-10-58 at half-time.
What a day of Eastern Football League football it's going to be. We've said it a few times throughout the year that some of these results just continue to baffle. And I tell you what, if Scoresby get up, isn't that going to be massive for the Magpies this year, Andy?
Oh, it'd be a huge, huge story for the Scoresby Football Club. You know, look, they haven't had it easy this year. We all know about the background behind it, but look, they're giving everything today, I'm sure. And yeah, look, it'll be a fantastic story again if they do get the 4 points.
We'll cross back to the studio. We've got Norsemen and we've got umpires. We're waiting on Bulldogs out here at Cheong Park. It is a 1-point lead to Norwood on EFL Gameday here. You're listening to 98.1 or streaming live at www.easternfootballleague.efl.org.au. We'll be back right after this here from Cheong Park on EFL Gameday.
What vehicle would you choose for your funeral?
An old 1950s classic, just like me.
I'd love to arrive on the back of a Harley.
Oh, there's only one choice for me, a Mercedes-Benz.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, we know you love vehicles, so we've assembled a wide choice for you and your family. So if you'd like a 1958 Dodge Hearse, our Fat Boy Harley Davidson hearse, or our unique family funeral coach, just choose one in a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Are you feeling like your man space needs something special? Club rooms need a little something behind the bar? Just want to spoil yourself and show off to your mates? Authentic Autographs is Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports. With a range second to none, Authentic Autographs is a one-stop shop for all your memorabilia needs. If there is an empty space on your pool room wall or you feel your man cave needs something special, contact David on 0439 743 710 or visit the showroom at 11 to 15 Westwood Drive, Deer Park.
Radio Eastern 98.1, just a quick score check in AFL, and the game over in Port Adelaide between Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs is a 12-minute mark of the third quarter, and it's Port Adelaide 10-6-66, leading the Western Bulldogs 6-5-41. And it's half-time to the MCG between Hawthorn and Collingwood. It's Hawthorn 7-7-49, leading Collingwood 6-4-40.
What was wrong with you blokes yesterday? You were playing like you'd been stuck in traffic for an hour before getting to the game.
Coach, there was a railway crossing gate down for ages.
The other mob thrashed us. You ran out of legs.
They all have breeze tags, Coach. They use EastLink. They get to focus on the match rather than focus on inching forward in the traffic.
Get a breeze tag and use EastLink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's East. Arrive fresher, play better. EastLink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor. It can be difficult booking an appointment with your GP when you need medical care urgently. But at Akira Urgent Care, Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic, you don't need an appointment and you don't have to wait. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Boronia, or call us on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care. We'll have you off the sidelines in no time. Station sponsor.
For all the latest news and information on the Eastern Football League, make sure you check out our website, www.efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Cheong Park for the second half between South Croydon and Norwood, and it is Norwood leading by 1 point as the third quarter begins. Should be a great second half of football. It is, of course, the Beyond Blue Cup. And the Bulldogs are kicking to the left-hand end of your radio dial. Norwood kicking to the cricket net's end of the ground here at Cheon Park, and the Bulldogs go forward first. Jason Eagle on a long lead takes the mark. The kick came from Dissent. Eagle kicked 4 goals in the first half. He has a chance for a bunch of 5 here. And what a start to the second half that would be. Interesting to note that the change still hasn't been made. Yep. Jesse Newman still with the job on Jason Eagle, who has not looked like missing today. He's kicked 5 goals, 5 of South Croydon's 7 goals for the match. And he gets them off to the best possible start at the start of the third quarter.
Far too easy there. Straight out of the middle. Beautiful lead up by Hughes, and then easy kick. Too much space, almost like they were asleep there, Norwood, at the start of the quarter. So great start for the Dogs, and it looked like a bit of a dry where the game compared to the first half.
It was good pace. Danny Hughes has been pretty important, I think, today for South Croydon. He's taken, I think, about 7 or 8 marks at a high half-forward sort of role, and doesn't mind pumping the footy inside 50. He's been really important. I mean, last week Jason Eagle played second fiddle to Danny Hughes. Danny Hughes bag of 7 against Scoresby, but he hasn't been too close to the goals today. South Croydon, through Nick Molnar, are going to get a free kick out of the middle of the ground. They're going to try and pump this one inside 50 again. They've taken the lead here by 5 points. Just chips the kick over the top. Wasn't quite cut off by Jordan. Picked up by King, whose kick in the direction of Donnell hits the ground. Donnell keeps it in. Fantastic job to Cox.
Well,
tries to get around, gets on the right boot, he's got a curl around from the boundary line. Oh, it's not going to quite go in. And over the top, taking a funny looking mark over a teammate there in Armstrong was Poynton. Dean Poynton it was.
Daniel Hughes again there, just creating that contest at half forward. It looked like an easy mark to Norwood.
Poynton out in the bait direction. Unable to take the mark, mopped up by Hughes. Handball in the centre of the ground. A kick on goal for South Croydon. And he's kicked an absolute beauty.
Boundary.
Great stuff there.
Dissent
it was. He got the Matty Bate unable to take the mark, and Dissent just swooped on the loose ball. Handball to him by Hughes, and he's put the South Croydon Football Club further in front. Dyson Baker, thanks to Akira Urgent Care. What's going on at ground level?
News doesn't get any better for the Norseman. Matty Declare put on ice, hoodie on, sitting on the bench. Will definitely play no further part in this game.
Been all over that one like a cheap suit has Dyson Baker.
Sharp as always.
11 points the margin. South Croydon 8-4-52. Norwood 6-5-41. Biggest lead of the day for the Bulldogs. After that great goal from Anthony Dissent, there's no doubt that South Croydon have come out breathing fire at the start of this third quarter, and Norwood have just looked a little bit flat to start with. English, though, surges forward, and there's the quick reply from the Norsemen. That's what a good footy team does. They don't stay down for long, and the Norsemen bounce back to within 5 points. Brent English gets his first goal of the day, and that was great footy from the Norsemen. As I say, the margin, 5 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Don't want to harp on it, boys, but Gisbert's again there. He
Yep.
took 3 tacklers, he got his arms free, got the handball out, which then created the run and the extra man, which was English in the end, who finished beautifully.
Clock says about 3.5 minutes. You take away a minute for some stoppage time and the ball coming back. We've had 2 minutes of proper game time here in the third quarter. We've seen 3 goals already. Absolutely fantastic stuff. 2 to the Doggies, of course. 1 to Brett English and the Norwood Football Club just there. 8-4-52 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, South Croydon. Norwood 7-5-47. If the rest of the quarter is going to be played out like that, Brad Henderson, we're in for a damn good second half of footy out here.
Absolutely. Yep.
Stevens and Armstrong. That was a fascinating battle in the first half. South Croydon are going to get the clearance to a smother. Fantastic stuff. Molnar from 60 metres out. A rough and tumble punt kick just chopped off there by O'Sullivan for Norwood. And it's going to come back out to the Armstrong direction, who stands tall in the middle of the ground, takes a mark against Donnell. And he plays on, gets around him. High kick to half forward, not really to the benefit of any teammate. Eddie unable to take the mark. Matty Bates in amongst that. Dived on by Cox. Eddie gets the handball out. And now the Dogs, well, they're almost going to rebound at half forward, but for an errant fumble. And the umpire's going to play a free kick. He's plucked one out. I think it's on the other way of Norwood.
Gisbert's.
It is. Geordie Gisbert, your man, Aaron Kirkby-Rodier. He's been fantastic since quarter time. Took him a while to get going in this one here this afternoon, but he's certainly got the game on his terms. South Croydon kicked the first 2 of the third quarter. Norwood have kicked the last one. Here comes Geordie Gisberts for the second in a row for the Norwood Football Club. And have a look at that, as straight as an arrow. And wouldn't you believe it, Norwood are back in front after South Croydon skipped out to a 7-point lead. They lead by 1 point, 8-4-52 to 8-5-53 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Punch for punch and blow for blow again here in the third term. We've seen 4 goals in 5 minutes of play. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Just forward pressure there, boys. Dylan Marshall was streaming out of defence, and somebody just got a hand on the arm that he had the footy in, knocked it free, and Gisberts was first on the footy and got pushed in the back. So just forward pressure, keeping the ball inside that forward 50.
First goal of the day for Jordan Gisberts. 1 point lead now to Norwood, 8-5-53 to South Croydon, 8-4-52. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Bulldogs started this third quarter with the first 2 goals, but the Norsemen have hit back with the last 2 as a free kick goes to Stevens. Very short pass, just travelled the required distance, then to Cox. Searching kick from Cox, looking for Eagle. There was some holding on back there. Holmes, steady as always. He's a cool customer, John Holmes. Out of defence, Poynton. Got it from Jessup. Dean Poynton just surveys his options further afield. Elects to go laterally to Ford. Jake Ford. Very short pass from Ford back to Poynton. So things just steady for a moment. It's been a frenetic start to this third quarter. Poynton's high kick, great mark by Stevens. Launched himself at the footy, dished it off to Cox. Cox's kick was effective to Eddie. Cox goes forward again. Ava had that kick well scouted though, and Matty Ava just chops it off in defence. Goes short. Short pass is on.
Just that last centre bounce, boys. They've started with Hughes and Eagle starting deep and pushed everybody else out of that forward 50.
Dixon shared it with Ford. Ford tucks it under the arm, chances his arm and hands it off to English. Very careful, neat kick by English. Got it to Ava. Ava's kick, spearing pass, but nice mark taken in the front position then by Clarkson. In front of Dale Bull, who's been fairly quiet this afternoon. Clarson's kick to half forward, but Matty Ava, who's doing a terrific job in defence, takes yet another mark. He's feeling it at the moment, Matt Ava. He's on fire. Ava's kick to the wing. Hill was the target. Bate takes the footy, shared it with Poynton. Look away handball to McBride. McBride's kick, bit of a floater into the path of Jordan, who really wanted that ball. Rhett Jordan somehow got his kick to almost the front of the goal square. It was fisted through for a minor score, but that was terrific tenacity then from Rhett Jordan, as Norwood move on to 8-6-54. South Croydon 8-4-52 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Let's have a look around the grounds. Division 4 and Kilsyth by 5 points over Eastern Lions. Ferntree Galley over Forest Hill by 27 points. Surrey Park over Nuttawane by 36. Park Orchards 76 point over Coldstream, and Warrandyte by 24 over Sylvan.
Lovely work, Wilbur Taylor, sharp as always. South Croydon just mucking around with a little bit in their defensive 50. King is amongst it. He gets the handball out to Strawn. Now they're off and running. Back to think that's Strawn with the footy there, taking a Cox it is, sorry, taking a bounce down the far side here at Chingon Park. He goes inside 50 to Eagle, unable to take the mark after a little bit of holding on. Hughes picks up the scraps. Oh, there's a fantastic smother there from Newman, Jesse Newman, who's got the rather daunting task on Jason Eagle this afternoon. The Hulks got 5. South Croydon currently trail Norwood by 2 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 9 minutes gone here in the third term at Cheong Park. Ball comes back in. Armstrong gets first hands on the footy. Norwood going to looking to clear this one. Unable to find some clear possession out of this sort of little scrimmage thing going on inside South Croydon's forward 50. And they're going to come back in and have another bounce. So Jason Eagle doing the ruck inside the forward 50 for South Croydon. Norwood through McCubbin. They finally get the clearing kick up towards the scoreboard. Eddie brings the ball to ground. None of his teammates at ground level. Norwood pick up the footy. Pounced upon, and we're going to have another bounce here in front of the scoreboard. So the next goal, pretty important here, I think. Norwood have kicked the last 2. South Croydon wouldn't want to let them get 3 on the trot, then they seriously would have their momentum here. A lot of clearance footy going on. It's just throw it up.
Yes.
Everyone jump on me and we'll throw it up again. Jump on him and we'll throw it up again.
See, well, we've had a bit of a lull in this game, but you know, you sort of wonder if it does get into shutdown style of play, who's it going to favour?
I think Norwood they wouldn't have liked the way the game was played in the first 5 minutes of this quarter. It was so open and breezy. That certainly would suit the Dogs. So credit to the Norsemen and Dennis Knight. They've been able to get the game back on their terms the last 5 minutes or so, and they're running away with it here. A fantastic piece of clearance work from Norwood. Stewie Hill takes a mark at centre half forward, wheels around on the left boot. Fantastic defensive work there from South Croydon. Oh. He's going to come in. I think he's going to get a free kick. Is he Jimmy Molnar for high tackle?
No, he bumped him in the side there.
Seamer, I don't think Stewie Hill's been down this end of the ground.
No, I was just thinking that. I think he spent a little bit of time there in the first quarter, but we certainly know Stewie Hill is a defender. Comes up as the third man up there, gets the hit out down to a teammate. Immediately beset upon. The South Croydon players want to holding the ball there, and there's nothing doing. They're desperate to break any sort of shackles either sides here. Stevens in the ruck. Gets the hit out down. Oh, put the body in hard there, did Johnny Holmes, the captain of Norwood. That was fantastic. South Croydon were away otherwise. We're going to have another bounce. About centre half forward for Norwood, about 45 metres out, straight in front. We're looking for a quick clearance, quick kick towards goal. Stevens and Armstrong. Cox gets the footy out. And finally something goes on, and they're going to get a free kick, South Croydon. They're going to get some clearing footy. I think Nick Molnar, the man, is there. Oh, well, that's an interesting looking handball. Johnny Holmes ends up with the footy. His short little kick towards goal. It's a tough. No, it's going to roll through. Well, that was an interesting passage of play. Nick Molnar, a terrible handball. That's the second time Norwood have kicked a goal from something very similar. Johnny Holmes able to find a little bit of space and scrubbed home Norwood's third successive goal. Their third goal of the third quarter. Their ninth for the afternoon. The Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Norwood 9-6-60. They lead South Croydon by 8 points, 8-4-52.
Division 3 at the moment. The Basin by 7 points over Chirnside Park. Is Upper Gully over Heathmont by 6 points. Ringwood over Glen Waverley by 48. Mitcham over South Belgrade by 47. Templestowe over Whitehorse by 15. And Wanton South 14 points. Clear of Baronia.
Thank you to Will Taylor there with all the scores here. The score is 9-6-60 to 8-4-52 the way of Norwood, leading by 8 points at the moment on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. A lot of players over this footy. It'll be balled up. So it's been an entertaining third quarter so far. Umpire throws this one up once more. Ball on the deck. Players scurry in over the top of it. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And it will be balled up once again. With thanks to... I lost it. Let's cross to... with thanks to Choose Tap Soupy Campbell.
No, I'll go around the grounds. Bayswater tied with Doncaster, 41 apiece. Croydon by 22 over Waverley Blues. Murrelbach over Doncaster East by 29, and North Ring over Eastvale by 49.
Dixon's kick was a beautiful pass.
Spot on about him, Brad Henderson. That was a fantastic kick. His foot skills they look to be absolutely sublime.
They are, absolutely. Lovely kick. And Callagher there on a mark, who is a pretty good kick for goal usually, as I mentioned earlier in the call. Won the league goal kicking in Division 1 probably about 4 years ago now for Croydon, might have been 5 years ago. And since then has mainly played in defence at Croydon and then of course at Norwood last year as well. And he hangs it out to the right, never really looked like kicking a goal that time. Disappointing miss then from Brad Callagher, minus score for him. And Norwood 9-7-61, South Croydon 8-4-52 as the scores continue. And they roll on with Will Taylor.
In Division 1, Blackburn by 9 points over Bowen. Knox over Montrose by 9 points. East Ring by 21 over Noble Park. Vermont over Road by 5. Scoresby over Lewdale by 3. And Norwood, of course, as mentioned, a half-time by a point.
Well, some interesting work going out of defence there from South Croydon. They've turned the ball over straight to the hands of Zach McCubbin, who really set this game up for Norwood in the first quarter. He's going to have a shot on goal right in front of the Norwood bench. Hard up against the boundary line. Wrong side for a right footer. But this is going for Norwood's fourth successive goal here in the third term. Long kick towards goal. That looks pretty good. Bit of toing and froing from the goal umpire. Doesn't quite make the distance. Mark dropped on the line, but not sure who that was, but a Norwood player had a clear run at that. Just bounced straight off the chest and in for a minor score. So 9-8-62, the Norsemen lead, move to 8-4-52 Croydon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Here come the doggies again. Just touched over the line there.
Seymour, if I could just go back to Zach McCubbin, you could see him. He was like a shark, just waiting for his prey to just approach. And as soon as that ball was kicked, he was straight on and took that intercept mark. It was a fantastic play there by McCubbin.
The Doggies cost themselves a little bit with their ball use going outside of defensive 50. It cost them the last goal, cost them a shot on goal there. And ball goes to the McCubbin direction at half forward for Norwood, fisted down, and now the Doggies, it looks like they're finally going to be able to get some rebound footy. The ball's going to trickle out over the boundary line, so it's a win there for South Croydon. Grant Soupy Campbell with some stats that matter thanks to TrueStat.
Inside 57 apiece this quarter. Norwood on top in the hitouts 10-7. The clearances 6-5 in their favour.
Here comes the ball hurtling back in now at half forward from Norwood. The last 5 or 6 minutes has been all the Norsemen here at Cheong Park. Kirkby-Rodier it is. It gets the handball out. Here comes McBride now. Long kick from the boundary line in towards the teeth of goal. McCormick's sort of sitting underneath it, but he's muscled out of it fantastically by Lucas Markovic, who takes the mark, kicks to Eddie. Eddie plays on. Handballs to Anthony Dissent. Stopping and propping now. Comes back across the face of goal, and now the Doggies looks like they've worked something out here. Handball across the top to Molnar. Molnar's short little right foot kick to Donnell, who just snuck off the interchange bench. That old trick works every time. He's got Del Judas down the line, ignores that. Del Judas goes again. Eventually he goes in that direction. Fantastic spoil comes over the top from Juzzy Gould. So South Croydon really struggling to string together any sort of consecutive possession work at the moment. But once they do, they're good enough to find Jason Eagle inside 50, and it's only a 10-point margin. So Norwood threatening to run away with it here, fellas, but not quite happening just yet.
Yeah, I think the way South Croydon are sort of building it up, they're sort of lacking a bit of run, bit of lead-up target. We spoke about how Matthew Bate was that lead-up target for Norwood, but I just don't feel like South Croydon have that at the moment, and it's costing them.
Quick kick around the corner from Dixon. Again, he finds a target. This time it's Holmes. Holmes put himself under a bit of pressure, though. Still managed to find Bate. Bate tracked it nicely. Got it to Armstrong. Slick handball to Gisberts, who is having a massive third quarter. Gisberts' shot at goal. Deserves a goal. He's already got one in this term. Almost got a second then. And a minus score takes Norwood on to 9-9-63. South Croydon 8-4-52. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Danny Hughes, it comes out to meet that one on centre wing in front of the scoreboard. I think it's gone just out on the full though. 25-metre penalty. A little bit of back chat we're hearing there from the umpire.
Just really shutting down the corridor, Norwood, not allowing South Croydon to come through it, forcing them wide and testing their foot skills right up against the boundary line.
They need a bit of a run and carry, I think, South Croydon, just to break the lines.
Oh, another 25.
Oh, wow.
It's a 50-metre penalty, and that's going to bring Matty Ava all the way from the scoreboard on the far end of the ground here at Cheong Park to within 25 metres of goal. I would love to know what that second one was for. That is absolutely inexcusable if that's for some back chat. We'll see if anybody gets dragged here, but Matty Ava is going to have a shot, a more than kickable shot for goal here to try and extend the Norwood margin at a game-high 17 points.
Deserves a goal. He's been fantastic.
He's going to kick it, and he does. He puts that one through. That's very disappointing from a South Croydon point of view. They've given up a goal out of nothing. That's 4 in a row now for the Norwood Football Club. They lead by 17 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Such a crucial stage. That is so costly for South Croydon.
It all of a sudden puts this game on an edge now. The Dogs really need to answer back fairly quickly. Otherwise, Norwood, you've seen how they've shut the game down already this quarter, not allowing the Dogs to get past really centre. They get another one here. It's going to be tough to get back in it.
4 goals, 4 in this quarter for Norwood to South Croydon's 2 goals.
Yep.
2 goals straight, and that was the first 2 scores of the quarter. It was the 2 goals by the Bulldogs. Since then, it has been all Norwood in this third term. So the umpire throws it up once more. Armstrong paddles it down. Casting the roll of the Rover that time, did it well, got it to Ford and then on to Dixon. Dixon's kick out into open space, looking for Hill, set him a hard task, and Stuart Hill couldn't quite keep the ball in play.
The other thing, guys, I worry about the Dogs is their ability to kick a winning score in terms of relying completely on Jason Eagle. I feel like they just need a few other players to stand up when they do get that ball forward. I mean, Hughes probably would be their likely candidate, but they definitely need more options to goal.
Their issue at the moment, Eddie, is they're not actually getting that ball forward.
Well, that's part of it as well.
Jessup's kick went over the head of Callagher, was marked by Eddie. Eddie got it to a teammate. Handball over the top then to De Jager. De Jager's kick along the ground then and along the boundary and over for a boundary throw-in.
Getting forced wide, the Dogs.
Yep.
Need to take a risk here through the middle, try and break this open.
That's it. Game's now purely wholly being played on the terms of Norwood.
English shark the pack. Couldn't quite get a clean kick away.
Oh, great work.
Great work by Jordan. Fantastic again. Got it to Bate, to Gisberts. Gisberts fires at the goals.
What a goal.
And kicks a great goal for Norwood. Terrific footy then. And that was summed up by the fact that it was the clearance from English, first of all, then the absolute incredibly hard work from Rhett Jordan, and then the finish by Jordan Gisberts. All three have been fantastic today, and that was another example of it, with thanks to Choose Tap, Subi Campbell.
Yeah, the last 8 inside 50s have gone Norwood's way, so you can look at the stat sheet and that just tells you the story.
Certainly does. They kicked 5 goals now in the third quarter. They lead by 23 points. South Croydon 8-4-52. Norwood 11 goals, 9-75 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It might have been the turning point, that 50-metre penalty not too long ago. And this game now really, South Croydon are in serious danger of losing touch with Norwood on the scoreboard. But they get the clearance there. Comes out in the Kavanagh direction. Ball just trickles out over the boundary line. Fantastic work there from Dixon, just pressuring him over the line.
Come on,
So South Croydon, they seriously, their home fans just praying that they get this next goal here at Cheong Park. Really just keep this game alive. The last 5 or 10 minutes from Norwood has just been absolutely breathtaking. They've really shown us all why they are 9-0 on top of the ladder, undefeated. South Croydon almost got the clearance there, but the ball's going to come out to Johnny Holmes. Rather dubious looking handball to Gisberts. He's immediately set upon and tackled and dumped over the boundary line. We're going to have a throw in again.
We spoke about it, boys. After they kicked their second goal of the quarter, South Croydon, they pushed Hughes and Eagle deep, and they've missed Hughes' lead-up target ever since then. I don't understand why they've moved that and why they haven't moved him back.
That's a good point, because he was fantastic, especially in that second term out on the far side. He was taking a lot of marks up there and really propelling South Croydon inside 50. This is where the bit where they're starting to break down a little bit around the clearance. They're allowing Norwood to get first hands on the footy at the drop of the ball and letting him have it their own way out of the clearance situation. But Dan King gets a little kick off the ground towards Tucker. Tucker slides in. Zach McCubbin is in and amongst that as well, and the ball goes over the boundary line again. So this boundary umpire out on this side certainly earning his money in the last 5 minutes. Jason Eagle and Danny Hughes about 10 metres out from goal. The two twin towers up forward for South Croydon. Now we wanted to get their hands, but Stevens hits the ball straight down in the path of the Norwood captain, John Holmes, who kicks the ball into the middle of the ground, into a contested situation now, and it is South Croydon able to pump the ball inside 50 in the Hughes direction. He's up, can't quite take the mark. Donnell at ground level. Handball across there to Dan King. His kick smothered. Goes through the hands of Armstrong. Now it's Molnar. Molnar gets the handball to King. King's immediately tackled. The umpire's going to come in and ball this one up. That was a frenetic passage of play. South Croydon trying to really get a clear shot on goal, an uncontested possession inside forward 50. But the defensive work of Norwood there was just far too good. Stevens gets the tap down to Donnell. Donnell's wrapped up immediately. The ball comes out. Now South Croydon for Gisberts. Turned over to Molnar. Descent. Danny Hughes turns around from about 40 metres out. Kicks this one towards goal. Oh, and it's just gone to the wrong side of the big stick. That was the one the South Croydon needed. They moved to 8-6-54. Norwood 11-9-75. Something slowly starting to happen now for South Croydon. This is it. The next 5 minutes, they've got to kick a couple of goals.
Yeah, they've got to reel in this deficit before it becomes too big, and especially at a critical time in the third quarter where there's only about 5 minutes to play. If they can peg 1 or 2 back, it just sets them up for a brilliant last quarter.
Gee, dangerous kick into English. English works it back, out of defence, Norseman, up towards the wing, Stevens. Good handball. Mallison now attacks the footy. Probably needs to lift Robbie Mallison. Long kick by Markovic, but Dixon had that kick well scouted. Safely pouches the mark and doesn't waste any time. Lockie Dixon, again, just impeccable by foot to Poynton. Dean Poynton just weighs up his options. Not sure where to go. Likes to go pretty well down the line to a pack. Big fly came from Hill, who couldn't quite drag the mark in. Jessup fed it out to Hill. High up and under kick into open space by Hill.
Well done.
Great work from McCormack. paddled it down to Gould. Gould's kick wasn't his best. It was plenty of Bulldogs defenders back there, and they dodged the bullet then, the South Croydon defence, because Gould had a bit of time. Probably should have done better with the kick going forward inside 50. And we'll have a ball up. Gee, they look sharp at the moment, Norwood. This third quarter, they look
hungry.
They do, and they look like an undefeated side, a number one team at the moment. Nice mark taken by Cox. Spearing pass to King of the Dan variety, Daniel King. Not a bad pass to Donnell of the Chris variety. Chris Donnell's kick. Looking for Hughes against Ava, who's having a terrific third quarter. And Ava again was in the right place, right time. Spoiled Hughes and forces a boundary throw in. And as I mentioned, the boundary, let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, boys, a couple of injury updates just in the last 30 seconds or so. Rhett Jordan copped a little bit of a hit. He's limping through the middle of the ground as we speak. Zach McCubbin just came off a little bit of claret coming from the left eye.
Thank you to Dyson Baker on the boundary. It was fisted away then by Newman. Handball out into open space. Armstrong hunts down the footy against Stevens. He turned it over straight to Strawn. Strawn winds up and puts it not out on the full. He managed to sneak it home for a minor score, only just. And as soon as he kicked the ball, then he was punching his fist in frustration, Glenn Strawn.
Not a bad pick up by the big ruckman there.
I've got to say, Armstrong's been quite good this quarter. He's just nullified Grattan Stevens just a little bit. It hasn't been a huge difference, but it's been enough to obviously assist in creating this lead.
26-minute mark of the third quarter. Norwood by 21 points. Matty Ava with the ball now at half-back from the kick-in. He just goes long down the line. Maynard from the side, unable to take the mark. Markovic first to recover. Strawn, too hot for Markovic. A little bit of a fumble, and eventually the ball does trickle out over the boundary line. Grant Soupy Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap, you've got some stats that matter.
That was a good pickup because South Croydon actually won the hitouts by 7 in the first half, but this quarter it's 19-12 the way of Norwood.
And as we speak, Grattan Stevens is lying on his back on centre wing here for South Croydon. Absolutely poleaxed in that marking contest. So
I reckon he got just a knee in the contest.
Right there in the thick of the action, thanks to Akira Urgent Care, is Alice Mulvogue.
Yeah, Stevens appeared to get a knee in the back from his own teammate there and straight off ground moment.
Certainly looking a little bit worse for wear. Big sticks, Grattan. Watch that one with interest.
They really need his influence if they're going to get back into this game.
It looks okay. He's wandering around the boundary line. Might just getting himself recomposed and getting his breath back. Jessup takes the ball out of the stoppage. Is immediately tackled. So the Dogs, they'll at least want to get, at the very least, they'll want to get one goal before the three-quarter time siren here. To keep them in touch, set them up for a big last quarter finish. They want to get the ball out of this clearance. They were unable to. Jessup, handballs to Bate, who puts the footy under his arm and runs through the middle of Cheong Park. Long left foot kick towards goal. It clears the pack and it bounces through for a sausage. That is fantastic work from Matthew Bate. He's kicked an absolute ripper for Norwood. They're really starting to run away with this game now. 6 goals on the trot for the Norwood Football Club. They are leading by 27 points. Matty Bates second for the afternoon. Dyson Baker, thanks to Akira Urgent Care. What is going on at ground level?
What is going on at ground level out at Shepley Oval in Dandenong is that our Eastern Football League Junior Interleague side has got to within 2 points of the South Metro Juniors. So get up the Interleague, boys.
Down the boys, come on. Keep us updated there, Dyson Baker. Fantastic that the juniors are doing well.
Well, the lead here, Cheong Park has blown out to 27 points now, 12-9-81 to 8-6-54 the way of Norwood as the Norsemen get another clearance through Poynton. Spearing kick was a great one to Jessup, and Matty Jessup, the former East Burwood Ram. I'm sure he's glad to be playing at the Norwood Footy Club this year. Been a very handy pickup for the Norsemen as well.
Just around that clearance again. Those top midfielders, Bate, Poynton, getting it out, and then they use the ball beautifully inside 50.
So, Matty Jessup for goal number 2. Kicked his first a long time ago in the early minutes of the first quarter. Jessup, pretty good kick off the boot. Right to the line, but it was it just hit the padding on the goalpost, so a minor score for Matty Jessup and Norwood. 12-10-82, South Croydon 8-6-54, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
In the depth of the third quarter here, Cox, handballs to Donnell, finds King, gets around another one. And here they go through the middle of the ground, South Croydon. Kicks in the Molnar direction, but it's chopped off by Dixon. He always uses the ball well. We've seen that this afternoon, and that is a fantastic kick to half forward. He finds his captain, Johnny Holmes. Lockie Dixon take a bow. Johnny Holmes immediately plays on, goes around the corner, finds a teammate in Poynton, and it looks like the Norwood Football Club are going to have another set shot on goal. Bull it is, sorry, Dale Bull.
Floodgates might open here, boys, if they haven't already.
I've got to say, though, South Croydon, they did the right thing by actually taking a risk and going through the middle with some quick play. Just didn't work out on that occasion.
Handballs to McCubbin, who seeks to slipper into that one. That is a fantastic kick from Zach McCubbin. The Norwood Football Club are doing everything on their terms at the moment. That is a brilliant kick for goal. They have kicked, I think, 7 goals in this third quarter now to South Croydon's 2. A fantastic effort from them. They're running away with this game, and South Croydon are getting out of touch with every passing moment.
That was good footy too from Dale Bull. He obviously didn't feel like he wasn't confident of kicking the distance. Just dished off the little handball to McCubbin, who's looked class every time he's gotten the footy this afternoon. Zach McCubbin, that was no exception. And you're right, Seymour, 7 goals, 5 in this quarter.
Just the 2 goals, 2 I think to South Croydon this quarter.
Yeah, 2 goals 2 to 7 goals 5. So a dominant quarter by Norwood, that is for sure. Dan King there, all wrapped up in the tackle by English. As the siren sounds to complete the third quarter of the Beyond Blue Cup, and it is 3-quarter time here at Cheong Park. South Croydon 8-6-54. Norwood in the box seat 13-10-88. They hold a 34-point lead at 3-quarter time, and they're in control. Do South Croydon have something to offer in the last quarter? Let's cross boundary side thanks with Dyson Baker. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Just a quick update before we go to the break, boys. Connor O'Sullivan also on ice, so down to 2 with a handy lead in for the Norsemen going into the final term.
Thanks very much to Dyson. It is 3-quarter time on at this game here at Cheong Park, and we'll be back with the last quarter after this break on 98.1 Radio Eastern.
Had an accident on the field, head straight to Akira Urgent Care for immediate medical treatment, and you won't have to wait. For a maximum of $75, we'll treat your broken bones, sprains, strains, cuts, or any other game day injuries. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Beyondblue, or call us on 9839 3333. That's 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care. We have you off the sidelines in no time. Station sponsor.
Okay, boys, it's time we got ourselves a big advantage this weekend.
I'm not going to tank, Coach.
No, who said anything about tanking? It's what you'll save in the tank. I want you all to go out and get a breeze tag. Use Eastlink. You'll be at the ground faster and fresher, and you'll save fuel too.
Get a breeze tag and use Eastlink, the quickest way to get around Melbourne's east. Arrive fresher, play better. Eastlink, it's time better spent.
Program sponsor.
2 after 4, Radio Eastern 98.1. This is EFL Gameday. Barry Cont's back here in the studio. Let's check some AFL scores now. And the game over at the Adelaide Oval between Port Adelaide and Western Bulldogs. It's a 6-minute mark of the last quarter. And it's Port Adelaide 16-10-106 leading the Western Bulldogs 6-7-43. So they've pulled away. They've kicked 6 goals in this quarter. So they're doing very well, Port Adelaide, so it looks like they're going to win that one. So 16-10-106 to Western Bulldogs, 6-7-43, 7-minute mark of the last quarter. The other game is at the MCG this afternoon between Hawthorn and Collingwood. And Hawthorn are just in front, 11-10-76, leading Collingwood 8-7-55. So there you go. And the twilight game this afternoon is up there at Metricon Stadium up in Queensland between Gold Coast and Geelong, getting underway at 20-5.
What song would you like played at your funeral?
Oh, it's got to be A Long Way to the Top. Akadaka. Yeah.
Just the Way You Are, Billy Joel. Love that song.
Oh, the Collingwood song. Good old Collingwood forever.
How about Return to Sender?
Music is a must at funeral services. Certain songs say so much about a loved one's personality and the defining moments of their life. The best way to ensure they play the right song at your funeral is to have a fixed price funeral plan. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Have you got a premiership or milestone jumper that needs framing? Is the better half nagging you to clean up the man cave? Well, you're in luck. As well as being Australia's largest licensed memorabilia dealer, the team at Authentic Autographs also do custom framing. From the deep rebated frame, the acid-free pins, the mount will not only look great, but won't damage your prized jumper should you want to relive the glory days. The team will also design a frame, including photos and all the important information, so you have no trouble bragging to the boys. Contact David on 0439 743 710. Authentic Autographs, Australia's largest licensed and authentic memorabilia dealer across all sports.
Own a smartphone and love the Eastern Football League? Then the EFL mobile web app is a must for you. Go to m.efl.org.au to access fixtures, results and ladders for all EFL grades. You can also receive live around-the-ground scores every Saturday afternoon right from the palm of your hand. And contribute to the mighty EFL forum while you're online. Download the EFL mobile web app to go live and local for your footy this season right from the palm of your hand. EFL.org.au is a must visit for the die-hard Eastern Football League fan. In our news section, check out the latest news, feature articles and video programs, including the Friday preview. Have your say in the EFL poll, tip against your mates in the Vibromania tipping competition, and voice your opinion on the mighty EFL forum. Best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. To go live and local for your footy, head to efl.org.au.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Cheong Park here in South Croydon for the Beyond Blue Cup match between South Croydon and Norwood. It is three-quarter time. The teams still in their respective huddles. Norwood 13 goals, 10, 88. South Croydon 8, 6, 54. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is a 34-point lead to the Norsemen. In that third quarter, Norwood kicked 7 goals, 5 to South Croydon's 2 goals, 2. With thanks to Akira Urgent Care, let's cross to Dyson Baker on the boundary.
Thanks very much, Brad. I'm down here with Dennis Knight. Dennis, obviously a massive third quarter in the context of the game. What was the feeling, what was the process going through your mind after they kicked the first 2?
Oh, look, we don't panic at all, but obviously it was going to be game on. You know, we had a fair crack at them at half time, probably the first time we've done this year, and we responded pretty well. So yeah.
And a couple of injuries. Just looking at a few boys iced up, it's handy to have a 3 or 4 goal lead coming into this final term. Yeah, definitely. Balance-wise, we've gone with one less tour, which is probably handy this week. We just seem to be copping a couple of injuries each week at the moment, but yeah, so be it. And you struggled with your forward setup early, but you've managed to find a key to that. It wasn't so much our forward setup; it was more our entry. We were just woeful decisions going forward, and I thought we addressed that pretty well at half time. And once again, they used it well. Thanks very much. All the best of luck. Thanks. Excuse me. Thanks very much to Dyson Baker and also to Dennis Knight, there, the coach of the Norwood Football Club, for his time. It is a 34-point lead to Norwood, and with thanks to Choose Tap, here's Grant Campbell with the stats that matter.
Yeah, in that third quarter, Norwood won most categories. They won the hitouts 21-14, kicks 50-41, inside 50s 16-10, and the marks inside 50 was what stood out, 5-0.
It's a big stat. Win games of footy, taking marks inside 50.
So the last quarter does get underway. Can South Croydon throw up a miracle in this last quarter? Time will tell as Dan King gets the first effective kick of the final term, but it's been well marked back there by McCubbin, who's been terrific today for Norwood. Him and Matt Ava across half back have just repelled so many forays forward, and they've just been so composed and cool in their delivery.
Boundary.
Expect to see them both named in the best players as McBride takes the mark on the wing position. It's all a bit slow at the moment. McBride weighs up his options, goes very short to Cruceradis, low kick up towards the wing. Gisbert's slick handball, that was effective, and marked diving to take the mark was Rhett Jordan, who's also been outstanding today. Have to be pushing for some votes perhaps from our from the media team at the end of the day. Rhett Jordan, real full-quarter performer. Went looking for McCormack. Out of defence, the Bulldogs come away. Del Judas, driving kick from Del Judas to a 2-on-1. McCubbin again in prime position, and McCubbin there works it towards the boundary, paddled it back to Ava, those two combining once more. Ball finishes up in the hands of Chris Donnell, evades the tackler, hands it off to Dan King. King's kick a real floater, not his best effort. Didn't really do his forwards any favours, and we'll have a ball up. Let's cross boundary side once again with thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Alice.
Yeah, at the break there, South Croydon in their huddle were just talking about Norwood's run through the centre of the ground and how they needed to shut that down and even start doing it themselves. And they also talked about some taking risks throughout the quarter and also the belief that they can actually still win this game.
Well, they certainly can. If they get the first couple of goals here, it's not beyond the realms of possibility to set themselves up for what could be a grandstand finish here at Cheong Park. But the Norwood Football Club, well, they're continuing where they left off. They're coming through the middle of the ground now. Matty McCormack's going to be the first one there. He's run into an open goal. He should have a shot here. Left foot kick on his way is an absolute shocker. I don't even think it hit the right part of his boot. It's come off his shin and eventually trickled out of bounds in the forward pocket for Norwood. They had a real chance to ice the game there, Matty McCormack. That almost would have been fat lady time, Andy.
No right foot, unfortunately. He went on the left, but still, look, he's a live one. You can't afford to give him that much space, especially forward of centre.
They worked it well. There's a bit of a scrap at half back, and they were able to get the quick hands out and just over the top to McCormack, who ran onto it beautifully. And but for a horrible finish, that would have been a fantastic piece of footy from Norwood. The first one on the footy there is dissect for South Croydon. He's wrapped up by Brett English. It's a scary proposition being tackled by Brett English, isn't it? He's a big, tough, strong man.
He's a unit.
Grattan Stevens over the top. Del Judas gets the kick out. Holmes takes a great mark on half forward. He gets the Bronx cheers almost from the supporters. I'm not sure why. He's had a pretty good day. Sends the ball to Dixon at half forward. Got options of plenty up forward. He's got Gisberts all by himself on a half forward flank. If you can just spot him, he can't see him. He goes out to the other side. That's Ava out in front of the scoreboard.
Gisbert's still on his own, boys.
And this is all they need to do. Just chip it around.
Driving ball in the Jordan direction. Just eventually falls in the lap of a teammate, but seen over the boundary line there by Jaden Chrysaratis.
This will really hurt, boys, if the last minute or so has been played in their forward line after the first couple played up the other end and they get a goal here.
So Norwood attacking now. They lead this game by a considerable margin as we speak. 34 points thanks to Bendigo Bank on the scoreboard. Stoppages are plenty in the Norwood forward line. The umpire's hovering like a vulture. Thought he was going to just get that familiar crouch and play holding the ball, but nothing doing. Comes in and hugs the chest. We're going to do it all again. Great work there by South Croydon. Molnar gets the clearing kick out. It's going to come straight back again. Matty Ava kicks the bait, comes up the half forward, takes a mark about 55 out, plays on and swings around on the big left foot, kicks it to the middle of the ground. Matty McCormack takes a leap over the back of the pack, can't take the mark. Jordan handballs out to English, around the body. Dan Eddy on the line just taps that one through. Oh, the crowd got really into that one. Looks like it was just going to come back, but never quite had the legs. Glenn Strawn kicking out now. Just goes the safe option, the short kick.
Look at all this time they're eating, though. It's just, it plays into the hands of Norwood.
It certainly does. Crowell back to Molnar, but into Del Judas direction. Comes up and takes a great mark in front of Brent English.
Come on, give him something.
Drives this one down the line. The old bloke's on the boundary, not too happy with the slow footy that's going on at the moment. Grattan Stevens comes in from the mark and takes a ripper. Handballs to Donnell, who kicks it out in front of the Jason Eagle, out in front of the Norwood bench. I think it's just stayed in. The boundary umpire some way away, but it's going to pay the mark. So right where the boundary line meets the 50-metre line, Jason Eagle, not sure whether he's going to go back and have a shot for his 6th goal. This will cut the margin back to 28 points. You'd think this has to go through for the Dogs to be any chance.
It certainly does, but it was great work by Stevens. He took the mark and he immediately played on. That's what they've got to do. They've got to have quick ball movement and give themselves every chance to kick some quick goals in succession.
Getting quite intimate with the Norwood bench there is Jason Eagle as he comes out now and big long left foot kick towards goal. Always to the right-hand side of the stick. It was a fantastic kick for goal. Not quite able to go through. South Croydon moved to 8-7-55. Norwood 13-11-89 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
One thing I really like about Jason Eagle, he's a bit of an old-school full forward. He backs himself from wherever he is inside his distance. He'll have a shot at goal.
Takes on responsibility, certainly does.
English spilled the mark, but had Newman in support to mop up. This is Holmes. John Holmes' kick. Kept it very low. The mark was held then by Chris Donnell. Spearing kick from Donnell. Got it to Strawn. Glenn Strawn, most things he's done today have been quality, but he probably hasn't had as much of the footy as he would have liked. Finds Del Judas. Neat kick from Del Judas, but it was a big fist coming from the back then, provided by from Jake Ford, in fact it was. And a boundary throw in to result. So the Bulldogs, they just can't sort of
play the sort of footy that they did in the first half. Everything looks hard at the moment for South Croydon. Nothing's coming easy. Quick kick came out of the pack, drifts across the face of goal, slams into the behind post, and will be a boundary throw in forward pocket for South Croydon, who trail by 34 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's cross to Grant Campbell with thanks to Choose Tap. No, sorry, in fact to Will Taylor for some three-quarter time scores.
Yeah, Division 4, Surrey Park by 62 over Nuttawading and Park Orchard by 114 over Coldstream.
So out of defence, Newman's kick to Bate. Trapped it nicely, then Matty Bate. Handball was intended for Bull, but the ball eluded him. It's getting quite dark out there now. Strong tackle by Del Judas. And we'll have a ball up. You got some more scores for us there, Wilbur?
In Division 3, Heathmont by 3 points over Upper Galley, Ringwood by 77 over Glen Waverley, Mitcham by 48 over South Belgrave, Wanturna South over Boronia by 13.
Massive pack of players around this footy. Strong tackle on Holmes. Holmes' little handball was effective. High kick in the direction of McCormack. Was thrown to ground then by Eddie. Eddie got it to Del Judas. Maynard, through some heavy traffic, did pretty well to get it to Clarkson. Out to Molnar. Molnar's high up and under kick. Boots it forward. There's plenty of players underneath this one as well. Ball hugging the boundary and over the boundary line in the pretty much at half forward there for South Croydon.
Matty Ava's been pretty good in the second half on Danny Hughes. I think Danny Hughes taken a mark in the second half.
He's been good. They've pushed him deeper forward though. It still doesn't make any sense to me. But Dog's starting to move a little bit more cleaner here. Maybe too little, too late. But they're starting to move the ball better.
Armstrong tapped it down. Massive pack again surrounding this ball. King hunts it down. David King around the corner, and that's a clever goal. Just showing his experience then, David King. Cagey as always, and he summed up that situation well. Gets a much needed goal for South Croydon. You'd think it's too little too late, but just keeps them in with a very faint chance, the Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, it was their first goal, in fact, for over a quarter. So, too long between drinks, and they've just got to get a run on. And if they do, they give themselves every chance, but it is unlikely.
Will Taylor?
Yeah, let's have a look. I've got a score from Division 4 as well. Warrandyte, Liam Sylvan by 35 points. In Division 2, Doncaster over Bayswater by 6 points. Croydon over Waverley Blues by 50. Doncaster East by 4 over Mooroolbark. And North Rand by 46 over East Belwood.
A couple of good games as you go local for your footy as always. A bit of overzealous attack on the footy there from Jessup. And here's the goal kicker, King. Goes short. Here come the Dogs now. Short little kick inside 50 in the Hughes direction. And he has his taken a mark, gets touch. Umpire's called play on. He plays on, goes the outside of the right boot. And it hits the wrong side of the foot. He hit the belly of the ball and it flew across the face of goal. Just for a minor score there. South Croydon move on to 9-9-63. Norwood 13-11-89 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's a 26-point margin out here at Cheong Park for the Beyond Blue Cup.
Still getting their hands on the footy though, the Dogs. Again, this is something they really needed to do in the second half of that third quarter. It's positive signs. It's good to see they can fight back a little bit and open the game up again. If they can keep doing it, hopefully they can make this a bit respectable.
Gilbert? In Division 1, it is Bourne by 14-0 Blackburn, Knox by 16-0 Montrose, East Room by 18-0 Noble Park, Vermont by 3-0 Roval, and Scoresby by 16-0 Lilydale.
Certainly a few we didn't tip there on the Sports Pass pre-game show, Wilbur.
Armstrong now with the ball, gave it to Bull. Back to Gisberts.
Lovely.
Beautiful kick from Gisberts to Bate. Two former Demons combining then. AFL Demons, that is. Matty Bates' kick, a good one to Hill. Sliding in to take the mark then, Stuart Hill.
It's been lively up forward. Haven't minded him up there.
It's unfamiliar territory.
It certainly is.
It's one of about 4 or 5 left footers in this Norwood team, Stuart Hill. Lovely kick to McCormack.
There's another left footer.
Yep. The lefties combining then.
It's kind of funny. It's what South Croydon are kind of missing. Hill's played that centre half forward role to perfection. Actually, he looks rather at home, considering how much of a prominent backman he is.
Well, Aaron's been spot on. They had Danny Hughes playing that role to almost perfection in the first half. And for whatever reason, that hasn't eventuated in here in the second half.
McCormack has kicked 2 goals today. Won't add to that at this stage. Donnell to Del Judas. Out of defence, Clarkson. His kick, well marked then by Bull. and Bull there had front position. So there's plenty of push and shove going on in the Bulldogs interchange area. So the mark paid to Bull. Bull goes laterally to Holmes. John Holmes. Very reliable veteran. Got it to Ford, to Ava. Very high kick. That will almost bring rain. That kick from Matty Ava. Courageous mark by Del Judas. And that was good footy from John Del Judas. Judged it nicely. Had the courage to go for it. Finds Eddie. Eddie's kick to Dissect. Hugging the boundary. Dissect gets it to Clarkson. Marcus Clarkson. Hard up against the boundary with Matty Jessup standing the mark. Just in front of the South Croydon interchange area. Armstrong seemed to be held on to. Looked like Tucker had one arm pinned back then, but the umpire thought differently, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Been really good today, John Del Judas. I think he's been solid for South Croydon, taking a lot of intercept marks and that sort of thing across half-back, and been clean. He hasn't turned the ball over a lot, which a few of the South Croydon half-backs have.
The right pointing, unable to get the footy, ends up somehow in the hands of Grattan Stevens. Goes to Donnell, to King. King's low skimming ball to half forward in the Hughes direction. It beats him. He's had to deal with 2-on-1s for most of the second half. And eventually Ava will see this one over the boundary. I'm going to have a throw in right out in front of the cricket nets here at Cheong Park. A packed Cheong Park, it must be said, for the Beyond Blue Cup here. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. A good game of Division 1 football we've seen here. Still not finished yet. 13 minutes gone in the last quarter. Clearance comes out from South Croydon through King. Hits a wall of players. Norwood player, they're unlucky to get a free kick. I was just waiting for the umpire to pay that. There's a push in the back and over the shoulder. Take your pick. But no, nothing doing. Umpire's going to come in and ball this one up. Matty Bate on his own, sort of in no man's land. Kick comes out from Klassen. Here comes Eagle. Eagle and Newman. Newman leads Eagle to the ball. Newman will get there first and see it over the boundary line. A little bit of a shove from Jason Eagle, who's put through 5 of the best this afternoon, Brad Henderson, and they've all been pretty exciting goals.
Yeah, 5 goals too. He's been fantastic, but he's been really starved of supply in the second half.
Certainly has.
Boundary throw in, outer side, forward pocket for South Croydon. They don't look like kicking the 3 or 4 goals in a hurry that they need, as Ford applies a strong tackle. Norwood just too classy in this second half after a really competitive and even first half of footy. Donnell. Chris Donnell fires at the goals. It's a quick snapshot from him, but he's off target. Minus score there for Chris Donnell. First time he's hit the scoreboard today. South Croydon 9-9-63. Norwood 13-11-89 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I must say, guys, Norwood have practiced this situation in games before where they've actually, tied the game down, wasted the clock, and this is just another example of why they're so good at what they do.
Don't forget that they've got O'Sullivan and DeClure on the bench as well, so it's probably inevitable that the Northmen are going to slow down a little bit in this last term. Lucky enough for them, they've got a 26-point buffer to play with. As Donnell gets a free kick. He's going to pump the doggies inside 50, goes in the Hughes direction. Unable to take the mark again, almost in the same spot on the ground. He's been unable to take marks about 4 or 5 times. As we're going to cross to Grant Soupy Campbell. Thanks to Tuesday for some stats that matter.
Inside 50s in this final quarter, 8 apiece, and marks inside 50. Problem for South Croydon, they've only taken 1 so far in the second half.
It seems if Jason Eagle isn't going to take a mark and have a shot inside 50 for South Croydon, there aren't too many other blokes who are going to have that sort of impact. As a quick kick comes out for the doggies. And great defensive work there.
It's like a goalkeeper.
Gould, yeah, it was, just dove across and punched the ball out of bounds. So still pressing the doggies. 15 minutes gone here in the final term. Not sure whether they have it in them to be able to come back. If they do, they almost need to get a goal out of this stoppage situation. Otherwise, it will definitely be too tall an order. Ball gets knocked out into some space. I think that's out on the full. The umpire's going to throw it back in again. Just in the cricket nets and landed on a good length outside the off stump.
What I've been a bit disappointed with is there's no Bulldogs player that's got third man and tried to smash it forward into a bit of a space. There's been nothing. They're just still trying to beat, Norwood one-on-one around the contest.
Norwood are very happy with the pace in which this game is being finished out at the moment. We're able to get the clearance here. Ball comes up towards the wing in the Callagher direction. Hasn't had the most abundant of days in terms of getting his hands on the footy. Plays on, runs straight into a South Croydon player. Unlucky not to get the free kick, the Doggies, but it's Maynard who's eventually going to get the footy. Kicks up in the Mallison direction. And it's chopped off by Hill. So poor use of the footy there from the Dogs. Not sure what Brad Kelleher was thinking. Took a good mark and played on and was immediately tackled. Just going to go long down the line here, I think. Just play the percentage of Stewie Hill. Handballs to Gould. Gould goes short down the line to John Holmes. Just went the required distance. We don't want to be buying real estate off this umpire. Sure, that went 15 metres, but Johnny Holmes nonetheless has got the mark almost in front of the Norwood bench. Now that certainly didn't go 15 metres. The umpires called it rightly so. Lockie Dixon plays on. His long right foot kick, centre half forward in the McCormick direction. Fist from Markovic. Ball comes to ground to Jessup. He's tackled. Now King. A little bit of a fumble. Kavanagh picks it up. Francis Kavanagh's funny looking left foot kick goes straight into the arms of Zach McCubbin, who hits Matty Bate on the chest, and Matty Bate's going to go back and put through his third goal of the afternoon and further extend this Norwood lead at the 18-minute mark of the last quarter. How many times you see it in footy? The ball at the South Croydon forward line for 5 minutes. They're going to come down the forward 50 once, Norwood, and they might kick a goal through Matty Bate.
Well, it was a crucial turnover there. A couple of Norwood boys got caught out running forward, and South Croydon were going to go the other way, and then a real bad turnover, and it really favoured them.
Too close to the man on the mark there. A bit of an up and under, but Rhett Jordan takes a mark in the goal square. The umpire hasn't paid it. It must have come off hands. That is stiff. It looked like a mark to me. And South Croydon, well, they're off the hook there. The kick from King comes out to Donnell.
Here we go, a bit of run and carry. This is what they need.
Handball's off to the 2013 Chandler medalist in King.
Great kick.
He kicks to high half forward. Good use of the footy there to Cox. Cox to Hughes. He's got some space. And he's finally taken a mark inside 50, Danny Hughes, coming off a 7-goal haul last week. He's going to go back for, I think it'll be his first of the afternoon if he puts this one through. So not the output they really would have wanted from their second stringer up forward.
He's looked dangerous, but he hasn't hit the scoreboard.
Hasn't had a lot of footy close to goal. Out in front of the cricket nets, well, that's not great off the boot, and it's just going to scrape in for a minor score. South Croydon move on the 9-10-64, Norwood 13-18-89, 25-point margin on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Out here at Cheong Park for the Beyond Blue Cup.
Obviously, it was not the result they wanted there, South Croydon, but the way they moved the ball that time is exactly what they've needed to do for the last quarter. And unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit too little too late, but that's the kind of ball movement that they need to have.
So just 3 behinds for the day to show for Daniel Hughes' efforts this afternoon. This is English. Over the ball, well tackled. Had plenty of teammates in support. Holmes got it to McCubbin. Strong tackle by Strawn. And it will be a ball up. True wing position. Very dark out here now at Cheong Park. 25 points the margin. The lead for Norwood. Massive pack surrounding this ball. It's going nowhere. The Norsemen led by 2 points at quarter time. At half time they led by just 1 point. And at 3/4 time they led by 34 points. At this stage the margin's still 25 points. Strong tackle by Ball, well done on Marshall. Marshall coughed it up. Strawn tries to trap it one-handed, couldn't do so. Ball was shot out by Cox to King. English applies the tackle, does really well, Brent English. And then somehow got to his feet.
Boundary.
All in one motion, got it to Hill, out to McBride. Now McBride usually uses the footy pretty well. Generally always likes to go short as well, Sean McBride. Likes those 15 to 20 metre kicks. This is Gisbert's. Gisbert short to Bate, will cross boundary side shortly. Bate wants to switch play, does so now. To the middle of Cheong Park. Dixon through the middle.
Kick.
Lovely kick again. He was dumped after his kick then, Lockie Dixon, so it would have been paid downfield in any case. And Kirkby-Rodier takes the mark. There's the bit of confusion. The umpire just sending Jaden Kirkby-Rodier back.
Don't think he really backs himself from this distance.
Distance beyond him, you would think. long way from home for him. Kirkby-Rodier kick falls well short, and nobody there for Norwood. They didn't sum that up well. Stevens safely took the mark, shared it with Dissect. Dissect's long searching kick, but it was well marked by Bate, and there will be a 25-metre penalty as well against Dan King. Let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira, urgent care to Dyson Baker.
Yeah, around the grounds down at Shepley Oval. We're just taking it 1 week at a time here in the Eastern Football League. Made it 2 out of 2, and they've got up. They have fantastic work there from the boys. 10-point margin in the end to the Eastern Football League. 7-10-52, South Metro 6-6-42.
That's a goal.
It was a huge kick from Matthew Bate, and Graydon Stevens is claiming that he touched it on the line. But in any case, he's receiving a free kick. So Stevens on the last line of defence. That was a thumping kick from Matty Bate. He almost made the journey.
I think he did. The goal umpire looked like she was going to call that a goal.
So Stevens to Tom Eddy. Eddy's kick kept it very low. This is Gould. Justin Gould summed it up well, went short to Jessup. And Matty Jessup doesn't waste any time, wants to pass it off, looks for Jordan, ball carries over his head. It's marked nicely then from Dan King, and the reigning Chandler medalist will clear for the Bulldogs out towards Chris Donnell. Went to ground, crucial moment, Poynton backpedaled with the handball to Gould. Good strong tackle applied. There's still plenty of vigour and plenty of tenacity being shown by the Bulldogs. Let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
I think it's time to put Will Taylor to work. 20-minute mark of the final term out at Wayne Brasher's game. Moorabah and Doncaster East. It's a 4-point lead to the Mustangs. Brasher's got another close one.
Fantastic work from you, Dyson Baker. Oh, a bit of a head clash there, I think. Stewie Hill's come off the worst for wear. Umpire's going to come in and ball it up. Some good results coming through as you go local for your footy.
Bulls have beaten East Ringwood.
Good work down there at the bull ring. He did tip that one on the Sports Pass warm-up earlier on this afternoon. Just going about their business nicely, Noble Park. Going about their business nicely also the Norwood Football Club. Bate gets it to English, whose kick inside forward 50 is ill-directed, and it will go out of bounds on the full. 23.5 minutes gone here in the final term. Norwood by 25 points here at Chingong Park, and you think it will just slowly meander out to this sort of margin. I don't see South Croydon making too many inroads here.
No.
Danny Hughes hits the pack hard. I think Zach McCubbin just got ironed out there.
And just got straight back up as well.
Yeah, well done.
Mopped up by Dissect. Kick to half forward, eventually ends up with Cox. Liam Cox stubbed his toe almost with that kick, and Norwood are going to rebound. So another turnover from South Croydon. McCubbin, short one over the top to Dixon. It was the case to get the lights on out here at Chingong Park. It is getting a little bit overcast. Gould, half back for Norwood, finds Matty Bate. It was him and Geordie Gisbert, the AFL boys, that really got Norwood back into this game in the second term. McBride to English, plays on, long kicked up the wing to Poynton. Gets hands to the footy, roves his own ball. That was fantastic by him. King ends up with the ball on hands and knees, handballs out to his brother, who gets it to Strawn. Left foot kicked it in the middle of the ground. Here they come now, the doggies. Hughes runs underneath the footy, but he got a shove in the back after the kick came from Nick Molnar, and he's going to get a free kick.
Former teammates as well, those two boys.
Probably a little bit, probably deserved that a little bit. Been a little bit unlucky in the second half with his attacks on the footy. So Danny Hughes kicked 3 behinds this afternoon. Going to look to get his name on the goal kickers list for the first time. Put a little bit of respectability back into the scoreboard here for South Croydon. This will cut the margin back to 19 points, 50 metres out on a worse than 45-degree angle, but it hung to the right and it stayed out there. 4 behinds for the afternoon for Danny Hughes, and not the return he was after, not the return that South Croydon were after. Now the margin is an even 4 goals. 9-11-65, 13-11-89 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Matty Bates just kicks to himself and then elects to go short to Poynton. Really set him a hard task with that kick. Poynton took the mark and the siren sounds to complete the win for Norwood, and they've ended up winning by 34 points, which was also the margin at 3/4 time. So nothing in it in the last quarter, but a solid win there for Norwood. 13-11-89, South Croydon 9-11-60. I'll try it again. Norwood 13-11-89. South Croydon 9-11-65. 24 points, I should say, was the margin. It was 34 points at 3/4 time. So, in fact, South Croydon doing a good job to outscore the Norsemen in the final quarter.
Boundary.
And Norwood claim the Beyond Blue Cup. Let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Dyson Baker.
You're exactly right, and they also claimed their 10th straight win. Dennis, you were tested for the first half, came out after half time and really put the foot to the metal and started to show just how dominant this side can be.
Yeah. I'll probably rate that really highly as a win, because the fact is we didn't play well at all in the first half, and other games we played really well for 4 quarters and we weren't good at all early. So to get through that in the second half was really good.
You mentioned at 3/4 time the delivery inside forward 50. You seemed in the first half to be getting to sort of 65-45 out, and then either turning it over or the kicks were going swift. There was no real dominant target up forward. Is that something you tried to rectify at half time?
No doubt at all, just our decision making, I thought a lot of the time. I can't remember a game where we've ever kicked the ball out in the full so often. Just force wide, and whether that was them or not, probably allowed them to play the game on their terms early with a player back. I thought we rectified that again at half time, made them play one-on-one, and our fitness was really good in this third quarter.
And obviously Eagle and Hughes would have been the focus during the week. You've done well to keep the entire side to just 9 goals for the day.
Yeah, that's a goal of ours each week, to keep a side under 10 goals. I think we've only twice had more than that. One side's reached 10, another reaches, Blackburn got to 14. So, as much as we want to score, we certainly want to defend as well. So to keep them under that was a really good score.
And just before I let you go, obviously 10 and Zip now got through a pretty tough period in terms of the sides that you've played around you during the last month or so of footy. You've got a couple of games next week against Scoresby, and then the following against Noble Park. Another chance to go, 11 and then 12 hopefully, and keep the winning streak going.
Yeah, look, we'll worry about Scoresby first and try and go 11. And as I said to you before the game, it's no easy. Noble at Noble, and then Vermont at Vermont, and then you got Montrose. We've actually got the way the draw's worked out this year. It's extremely tough for us, but as I said, one game at a time. We'll be prepared. The same again for Scoresby, and same again after that.
Congratulations on the win. Thanks, boys.
Great stuff from Dyson Baker down there with a very, very happy Dennis Knight. 10 wins on the trot for the Norwood Football Club. Not too often the team's win 10 games in a row when we're only 10 rounds into the season. Can anybody actually stop them?
Yes, they can. Yeah. There are other teams that can stop them, of course. But at this point in time, Norwood are the best team in the Eastern Football League. Look, it was a funny last quarter, I must say as well. South Croydon ended up actually outscoring them, but I felt that, and Norwood were actually goalless, but I just felt like they completely controlled that last quarter. It was played